This episode of PTG is brought to you by HK Army. HK is an industry leader in high-quality paintball gear, accessories, and lifestyle apparel that was founded in 2007. And we have a tremendous opportunity for you all to be geared up on every level with HK Army custom team gear. Whether you're on the paintball field or in the airsoft arena, take your game to the next level by using code PTG to get 50% off your custom gear design fee. And I don't think y'all heard me out there. That is 50% off, and you will be able to collaborate with a seasoned designer to create custom branded HK Army jerseys, long sleeves, t-shirts, pants, gloves, or headbands for your team with no minimum order quantity. Head on over to hkarmy.com/custom and use code PTG for 50% off on your team's custom gear design fee right now. Let's go. Thank you, HK Army, for everything you do in paintball, in airsoft, and in so many people's lives. We love you. Go check them out. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram @LoneWolfPB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community.
This episode is brought to you by BioCell RX. BioCell RX is an amazing company that makes some of the best CBD I have ever tried. I've been personally using this product for over 3 months, and it does not disappoint. I don't go anywhere without it. When traveling, it's really hard to get to sleep, especially when I'm swapping time zones and going to different places, sleeping in hotels and not in my own bed. CBD helps me get a good night rest so that I can wake up feeling refreshed, ready to coach, ready to teach, or ready to compete. Whatever it is, I take my CBD with me. My CBD is my partner in crime, my partner in travel. BioCell is one of the products that if it's not in my backpack, I'm not leaving the house. You guys are definitely going to want to head over to biocellrx.com and pick up a bottle of your own. The cool thing about BioCell is they offer CBD at an incredibly highly concentrated formula. With over 6,000 milligrams per bottle, you can get one bottle and hold on to it for a long time. The typical dose for CBD is around 30 milligrams, so you do the math. One bottle will last you a very long time. You don't have to deal with constantly ordering new products and waiting for it to arrive and maybe running out, all of the nonsense. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and get $25 off at checkout. All right, everybody.
Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently, they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop. And if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, Dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you can take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go.
What's going on, PTG Nation? This episode is one of the best we've had in a long time, and recently we've had nothing but banger after banger. This episode, we have Oliver White Cloud Lang of Hormesis Paintball on, and he is here to drop some major news. He is trying to change the dynamic and landscape of paintball forever. I don't want to give up too much, but he has so many amazing ideas, and Hormesis is truly doing amazing things in the community. So, without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the man, the myth, the legend. Let the drums bang, let the horns sound. He is here. We have Oliver Lang with us, and what an honor. Absolutely love you with all our heart. Everybody, myself included, we're so grateful to have you obviously here with us tonight and everything you're doing in the paintball landscape. How's it going, dude?
Dude, it's epic, man. I couldn't even sleep last night. I was so excited for this show, man. Literally, I swear. I went to bed at 9 p.m. I like to get to bed like early these days. And I'm laying there, and it's just like all of a sudden it's like 3 a.m. And I'm like, why am I still up? I'm just thinking about how excited I am to see you guys and to chat with the whole paintball community and to be actually on a professional show. I'm used to these amateurs over at the Spick and Span, It's like I'm sitting in Ryan's, freaking garage surrounded by a sea of rubbish, and now I get to work with some real professionals. Yeah, the
Dude,
studio, exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah. So now I get to work with some real professionals. We get to chat about some really important stuff that I've been, just kind of cultivating for the last couple of years, and I'm just prepared to share. So it's pretty exciting,
Love that. And it's all love for paintball. Shout out to the Doghouse. Let's go. And, we are excited, Oliver, because we know that you have a really fun tour that you're going on soon. You've got some really cool stuff cooking up for the paintball fabric, which is, what we got to do. We got to keep cultivating and making sure that paintball is fun. And who's doing that quite like you these days? You're definitely having a ton of fun out there, and it's evident, it's pure, it's all love for the game. So let us know, what do you got cooking up? I know we have the 1v1 little tour that's coming around, but people are hungry to know the details, man. They want to know when they can sign up. They want to know where they can play and how it's going to look.
Totally. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a multi-layered explanation, and also like it needs to be rolled out in a systematic way. So this is kind of the first initiation of rolling this out. Like I do believe in one-on-ones. I know that you guys play one-on-ones and you see the value in them. And when a lot of teams get to that point in the matches where it comes down to one-on-ones, it's always like kind of thrilling, right? But one thing I want to set you up for is that this isn't the way that you're thinking about it. This isn't the way that you've seen it in the past. So I want you to have like a kind of a fresh idea of what it could be like to play one-on-ones, right? Because a lot of people, they say, okay, here's the new one-on-one. We're going to do one-on-one. And people are like, oh, well, that's boring. Tournament paintball is really the deal. And, we like this. And tournament paintball is the deal. Like playing in the World Cup was exhilarating. Like what was happening at the NXL, the top teams are still just, incredible to watch. The other thing I want to preface is that I believe that these formats that we're unrolling are only beneficial to everything that's going on already, you know? So there's no kind of malice coming in saying like, we're going to do this and destroy something else, you know, like that's been the typical MO with a lot of new things coming into the sport, right? It's like, we're going to be the dominator, we're going to win it, and we're going to, you know, control it. It's like, no, we're not really coming at it with that, at that direction. We're coming at it with a very neutral and, like I said, beneficial aspect to everything that else is going on in paintball, because there's so many ways to play paintball, right? Right. There's and the way that I kind of see this and the way that it was been unfolding in my mind is like, how did paintball start? Right. It started one-on-one, right? It was like one guy had one gun and then shot one other guy, and that was the first game essentially, right? And then it grew from there. And so if you look at the timeline of paintball, you know, we've gone from that to you know, whatever it was, 5-on-5 to 10-on-10. I believe at one point it was 15-on-15. I wasn't around for that, you know, and then it came back to 10-on-10 to 7-man, you know, then now to the X-ball format. And then now I feel like this is a great time to slide in there, kind of completing the circle of paintball's, you know, full spectrum, and kind of sliding back in with this one-on-one format. So yeah, just to kind of preface it a little bit. First of all, the tour is something that no one's ever done in paintball. And I feel like it's going to be really cool. People have always wanted me to come back and play, but I've been like, look, I'm waiting for the right thing, for the right time to slip back in. And so why not just go to everybody's field and say hello and play with them there, you know? So this is my like reconnection, really deep, you know, retouching back into the paintball community. So I'm actually coming to you, you know, you don't even have to come meet me at an event. I'm coming to you, and we're going to do almost 2 months on the road, you know? So it's going to be pretty full on intensive. So to kind of give you the
2 months.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're renting like a really professional tour bus. We're getting it wrapped. And we're going to have myself, Kevin, who's the tour manager, who's also working for Hormesis, who's actually done this before in the DJ world. So he's already very versed in this area, right? So he was touring with DJs and selling merchandise for them for many years. So he's already a legend. He's just a great-hearted person who I've actually met outside of paintball in a sense. Like, I didn't meet him when I was playing. I met him when I wasn't playing, and we fostered a friendship. So to have him on board and have him motivated, and I was sharing him this kind of story when he was visiting Bali, and he loved it. And he's like, wow, this is really cool. And I was like, okay, well, when we're ready, I need you to help me with this. So he's been, were you going to ask something, Marcelo?
Kevin's the man. He's such a good guy.
He's a sweetheart, you know.
For everybody tuning in that doesn't know, Oliver is in Bali right now. You know, maybe you're new to the show. So he's reporting from the other side of the world. Shout out to Bali one time out there. And it's so beautiful. And how's the weather over there, dude?
You might hear a rooster or two, you know.
Yeah. Good old Chris.
So anyways, Kevin's on board, and what we're doing is we're launching right after Philly. So I'm going to be at Philly at the event. We're going to have a booth as well. We're wrapping a tour bus. It's just amazing how the Hormesis community works. It's like, I posted a picture of the concept. Somebody reached out, was like, hey man, you need that wrapped? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, I'm in California. I'm like, perfect. You know? So then we're going to get out to Philly. We're going to have a booth, and then we're going to launch straight away to LVL. And so the plan is that we're going to show up to the fields, and we're going to set up a very simple, this concept is very simple. And I can kind of get into the concept and the format in a minute once I finish with the tour explanation. But we're going to show up, we're going to set up, we're going to have a great show, a great spectacle, a great exhibition on Saturday and Sunday. And then we're going to roll out, and we're going to have an adventure throughout the week, and then go to the next location, right? And the idea is that we're bringing pros on the bus also. So I'm inviting either one of you at any juncture of the leg to jump on the bus, and we're going to go to a field, and we're going to challenge the other local pros that are there, right? So we're gonna in a
Right.
demonstration of it, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go all the way through the U.S. We're starting in, like I said, Philly. Then we're gonna go to Ohio. Then we're gonna go to Boston. Then we're gonna go to Jersey. Then we're gonna go to Florida. Then we're gonna go to Alabama. Then we're gonna go to Texas. And then we're gonna go to San Diego. And then we're gonna end off in SC Village, yeah, because it's just the legendary spot, and that's the grand finale. And so the grand finale is brewing for something even more special that I'll tap in on. I haven't got the full okay from Alex, but he's easily persuaded because he sees the vision also. So, so the idea is this: really, is that I'm coming to your field, I'm bringing everything that is necessary to deliver a fine example of how to play these two formats. So the first format is what I'm calling the joust, and the joust is it's like really the stepping stone to the duel, which is the next format. Yeah. So let me just back up a little bit, because as I left the game, I started to really have perspective on where there's blind spots, because now when you leave something, you can see something greater. It's just the nature of it, right? You get out of your relationship and you see, how she was treating you or how you were treating her, and then you enter back in or whatever, So you get perspective when you step out of something. When you're in something, it's very difficult to get perspective in it because you're just in it, and you're living it and you're trying to do your best of it, right? So when I stepped out of it, I started to kind of track, and maybe we spoke about this before on Play the Game, but there's really no A to Z on how to do it, right? As you know, Tyler, Marcelo, even myself, it's very difficult to become a professional paintball player, right? You have to really be at the right place at the right time with, possibly getting nurtured by, other people who actually have done it. This is somewhat rare and it doesn't happen often, like even Dynasty is still winning after all these years. And it's like, how, why, where are the new players that are, where are the new teams that should be, pushing these guys out? I know Marcel and I have spoke about this before. It's like, it's crazy that Ryan is at the top of his game, because at this point there should have been like 5 other players that have pushed out those old guys on Dynasty. This is how it used to be. Now it's not, but like when I was playing, when you got to 30, you were old. Right. And like the guys who are 21 were going to take your spot, and this is what happened on a lot of teams. It was just what happened. So it changed. The landscape changed in a sense. And I like that it's changed because it's given new hope to older players and a potential, longevity of this game, and including you guys. But ultimately, where I think there's a huge void in the game, and also paintball is also exceptionally on a height, and I feel like it's been doing really good. But where the real void is that there's no path, there's no stepping stone, there's no A to Z. How do you do it? And I want to be a pro player, so what do I got to do, right? Like if you look at other sports, there is somewhat a trajectory. You play, high school, then you play college, and then you go to the pros, right? There's a little bit of a path, right? And there's people that can guide you along that path. There's not that for paintball, right? And anybody who's made into the pros, I salute you, because I know it's very difficult. And then even anybody who's in the top, 4 or 5 teams is very exceptional. And like you think about the percentage of people who are actually doing this, right? So, sorry, I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I really want to make players better. I really want to. That's my emphasis. And I've realized it's also my kind of life purpose, in a sense, is to make players better. And there's a whole spectrum of what that means. Obviously, Marcelo and I have kind of been working together closely. And, yes, we need to make you good players on the field, but there's whole other spectrum that's off the field. That's like, what I think is actually the most important, and Tyler, you exhibit that on a A+ level, as a player on the field and a player off the field, so there's a whole spectrum to that. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's no good players. There hasn't been a big surge of good players coming through. And when people show up to play paintball on the weekends, they're hooked, just like we were, right? They want to play it. How do you get more vested into it? You know, how do you, it's very difficult to get onto a team. It's very difficult to, like, you know, get known around the field to maybe get asked to play for the local team. And then it's very difficult as a team dynamic to continue growing and having success. You know, I mean, how many teams just get ripped apart every year? You know, how expensive is it to be on a team? You know, I mean, I remember even when I was playing at Mare Island, you know, I had to pay dues just to play on this team, and we didn't really do anything or go anywhere. I mean, you know, even Dynasty, to go to an event is an absurd amount of money, and they only win a small amount of money. So the math in that is not correct in a sense, especially for a business, on a business level, right? Now, where I'm going with that is that we need players to develop, and we need players to get hooked once they play the game. So the field owners are the first line of attack on this. So that's why we need to go to fields, and we need to seed this. Essentially, I'm seeding all these fields with how to do this and how to play this, because I believe it's a valuable asset to keeping players hooked. Okay. Now, players are going to be hooked, but you're going to have a lot of players who are going to get hooked. They're going to buy paint. They're going to buy guns. They're going to buy everything. And then a year, maybe they don't make it onto a team. Maybe their team falls apart, and they're left looking around going, well, what do I do now? I guess I'll go play golf, you know? Right. So we need to keep something. We need to invent something that keeps players there, even if they don't have a team. Okay. So I believe that this format is not only going to help players grow, but it's going to keep players interested. Right. So when we go to these fields, of course, we're going to have an exhibition. It's going to be a demo. It's going to be like the And One mixtape. You know, this is where I got the idea, is like, you know, they roll up in the bus, and it's a show, and everybody's playing, and everybody's yelling, and everybody's screaming, and it's like And One, right? So that's my whole intent. I mean, think about it. Like if we all hopped off the bus in Alabama, I mean, people would go nuts, right? They're going to be like, what? Tyler Harmon's here, Marceau's here, Oliver Lang's here, you know, and we're going to invite media guys out, and we're going to make a big hype thing, right? But the idea is that we're going to get to these fields, and we're going to deliver them the information for how to play this. Yes, we're there delivering it, but ideally it's giving them the know-how, how to do it when we're gone. So I think it's going to be monetarily beneficial for them, as well as keeping just a solid customer base and connecting, you know, players. So let me go into the first aspect of it, which is what I'm called. Yeah.
If you've never heard of And One, go do your research right now, because
everybody's heard of And One.
No, there's the new kid. They never heard of And One, and they need to know about these tours that they went on. So go do some research on that and look at these tours. The hype was insane. People are doing backflips off of everything and slam dunking and just having a great time. And that's what you can really highlight very specifically with one-on-one. And we see it in the 5-on-5, and all paintball is amazing, right? I enjoy playing hyperball. I enjoy going in the woods. I enjoy, you know, big games, recreational play, NXL. I enjoy, you know, all these different facets of the game, because in reality, they all make me a better player playing all these different forms. So it's very important that you get out there and play as much different kind of paintball as you can as well. And I do want to shout out, you know, obviously, you're cooking it up. You're in the kitchen, eating all the eggs, making the batter, having the best time. And it's so amazing to watch, you know? But we have like some really special people out here who are also spearheading what your mission as well is, growing this game, keeping it, you know, grassroots, helping the players. There's so many coaches on the pro teams, places like BKI, and, you know, obviously Marcelo and myself, we really care about this like you do. So it's just cool to see so many people going to bat for paintball and everybody wanting it to be great, because it is great. And it's like, it's one of the funnest things you'll ever do. And I feel like it still doesn't have the respect it deserves in the global landscape, in the global eye, because it is a really difficult sport. I think things like this will really move it along. One-on-ones are exciting, and the tour is about to be popping And One style. Let's go.
Totally. No, I agree with you. And I think we're all kind of moving and inching our way towards that. one thing when we want something to evolve, like even when science figures something out that, you know, goes against what science was saying, you know, it's very hard to accept that, right? So we have our idea of the game, and to change it or to move into something different is confronting, right? Because we're like, no, it's actually 7 man's better. Oh, 10 man's better, 15 man. And this is what continuously happens, right? So as players and people who are on the forefront of the evolution of this game, we need to be open-minded to new things and the new ways of doing things, you know, because we need to look beyond what we think how we know it, right? It's super imperative, you know, and that's just a little side point. But so to go on, the joust is a very special format. And the reason why I like the joust is because really what it is, it's all inclusive. So you're going to sign up for the joust and you're going to get onto a team, but it's going to be one-on-one. So the idea is that there's 2 teams. They're universal teams. They're always the same team. There's the Magnificent, and there's one that's the Glorious, right? These are just fun teams. You get on, when you sign up, you're going to get put onto one of those teams. On that team, it's all inclusive. You can have 15-year-old kids. You can have 65-year-old men. You can have Division I players. You can have Division IV players. You can have pro players, right? So the idea is that it turns into a huge team. So now you've got a 20-person team. You know, like how cool is it to be on a team where all of a sudden, you know, Tyler Harmon's on your team, Marcelo Margot's on your team. Maybe people get to do that when they play in a you know, a big game or something like that. But it's very rare that somebody gets to be on your team. Now the idea is that when you get onto that team, there's one guy and he's the general. So the general he's a non-player figure. But what he does is
this is all inclusive to the lady ballers too, right? Oh, yeah. The female population in paintball is exploding right now.
Oh, for sure. It's all inclusive.
Come out. Yeah, 100%.
It's all inclusive. It's all inclusive. So the idea is that the general, lady, man, whatever, he or she takes the Rolodex of who their players are. So she sees, you know, she gets a guideline of who they are, what divisions they are, what age they are, blah, blah, blah. And like a game of chess, you know, everybody says paintball is like a game of chess with guns. Literally now you've got pawns, you've got rooks, you've got queens, you've got, you know, castles, you've got bishops, you've got everything there. So now it's up to you as the general to send in who you believe is going to win, right? And you have to go through your whole Rolodex before you can repeat players. So it's going to be one-on-one. There's going to be 2 teams, 20 on 20. Yeah, this is what we're going to be doing during the tour. But the idea is that the joust can actually be 50 on 50. It could be 100 on 100. It could be going on all day long. You know, it's a huge match, right? Wow, there's no race to points, and it's super fast. So let me explain the field. It's not on a regular airball field like you play on the NXL. It's not on the size of that. Go ahead.
Real quick, Oliver, do you by chance have a photo of like the layout or something that if you could send that to me, I could pull it up and put it on the screen. Because I love the little rendition I've seen, which is super badass.
Yeah, so the whole idea with this field is something that I've been brewing in my mind for a while. It's like paintball fields they're big, you know, there's a lot of bunkers. Like, you know, it's like when you go to some fields and all the bunkers are deflated and you're like, how do we even play on this? You know, it's kind of a little bit of a headache, to be honest, right? Especially if you're living in like, you know, another area that's not San Diego or, you know, has a pro team playing there. You're not going to have a quality airball field. And I believe that for fields, I mean, I'm not a field owner, but for fields, it must be really difficult to, you know, to service airball bunkers and have bunkers that go down all the time. So to have 50 bunkers or whatever it is, 45 bunkers on a NXL field for the NXL is great, but to play on the weekends, it's not very conducive because it means, you know, it's just a lot of work, right? So I've slimmed it down. the idea is that the size of this field that you're going to get in post is that it's actually the same size as a tennis court. So there's a lot of tennis courts out there, and there's a lot of tennis courts that aren't being used, and so there's a potentiality of converting a lot of tennis courts into these fields, like that was just an idea. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I went and I looked at a tennis court and I was like, okay, this is pretty small, but we could do it, and then when I tested it, it is so in your face, and it's so fast, and it's so different than what you're used to. Like, games are like seconds, So let me pull back a little bit. So the joust is on this field, and also the duel is on the same field. Now, the idea with this field is that I said it's got 14 bunkers. If you pull it up, I can show it to you. There's an alleyway that's right down to the center of the field, right? And you're pretty much looking at the guy. You're pretty much looking at the guy right down the gut. And you have to start in that little box, the starting station. You have to start in the box. You don't have to start, dude. You don't have to start with your gun back. You just have to start in the box 2 feet, and you can actually be kind of maneuvering in there. Like when you play in the NXL, you got to have your foot touching, and then you got to maybe do a little play fake at the very end to go to the other spot. Here, you could be like doing this. You could kind of be like a beast in the cage. And so the idea is that it's so close that it's very easy, if you're skilled, to shoot somebody off the break, and they're not, prepared, or they're not as skilled, right? So there's something that I'm calling an ace. Now,
everybody, you have got to go to YouTube and look at this thing. It's insane.
Oh, straight up. Yeah. For all the listeners on YouTube, it's dope. I love the nice little touch, the Coca-Cola rendition on the side for the sponsors. I love it. This
is actually a very amateur one. I have a much better one I can show you later, but you saw this, Marcelo, in person, remember?
I actually have that in our WhatsApp. Do you want me to pull that one up? I was able to.
No. I just want to. Okay. I just want to get another perspective on this, because when you do enter into this field, it is small. Like, it's really small. Like, I think when we built this at Victory with Fran, it fit 5 of these fit in a regular X-ball field.
Mm-hmm.
5.
Yeah.
So think about the potential, and that's another topic. But in the growth of the game, space is essential. In when you're building something, land is expensive. The potentiality of this is, you can start to see what I'm talking about. There's the potential of having these, pretty easily in many places, because they're much smaller. So, okay, I'm all over the place. But so the joust. So what the joust is it's a one-on-one, but a multi-person team. So there's going to be 2 teams, the Magnificent and the Glorious. Now, they're going to play. The general's going to put out their players, and at the end, for 1 hour of match with 20 seconds in between points, there's going to be a winner. So it's a pretty extensive game in a sense, right? It's like, it's not just a one-on-one and it's over. Like, it's a war of attrition. You're going to be playing a lot. Yeah. And it also it'll depend on how many participants are in the joust. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because then it could go on, for a number of time for you as a player out there, having to go over and over and over and over. Could get really tiring. And anybody that plays one-on-ones knows how tiring it gets, especially if you go back to back to back. Like, I did the Pro Tour, and I played against a player, and they got gassed out pretty quick, and it was an advantage for me to be able to, have that stamina and be able to go those rounds over and over and over. And it's really difficult. So something like this, I already know what it's going to do to players. Just looking at it, the way that you're going to be able to sharpen up as a player is going to be tremendous on something like this.
Totally. Thanks for expressing that, because I was talking to Archie last night a little bit about this. And this is something that a lot of people don't know, but so like when Mare Island died, we went to this place called the Fairgrounds, and it was like the new Mare Island. And I don't know, maybe you heard of it, Tyler, because you were kind of somewhat in the vicinity at that time. But Fairgrounds was like a really small arena, and it was actually, it had an overhang, so it was essentially kind of indoor. But I don't know what happened, but something happened where like Alex and Ryan and Yosh, they didn't play as much right after that, like right after Mare Island closed, but I did. And I went to Fairgrounds Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this was also when like Dave Baines first started playing, and also Johnny Perchek. And where I'm going with this story is pretty much we just pulverized each other in this indoor, like to the point where I really excelled in my game. And I think that was pretty much the year that I went to Ironman, and Johnny and Dave Baines became, players at that point. Right. So I believe that if you want to play paintball and you want to be good at it, you have to do it a lot. And I feel like we really pigeonhole ourselves and we limit ourselves to only playing on Saturday and Sunday. And we got to drive to some remote area super far away to only play for that day. Like with this schematic, this could be potentially like the new pickleball, where you go and you play by the hour, and it's like, and this is further down the road, but this is where I see this and the possibility of this thing evolving, is that this can be done differently than the traditional way of playing paintball. And that will definitely accelerate players' growth, as well as the growth of paintball, as well as, fields will be adopting this because they see that, oh, wow, we could be running this thing all the time. It only takes one ref, two refs, it doesn't take very much. So again, I'm kind of going all over the place because I'm really passionate about it, and I haven't really spoke to too many people about it. So I get super excited, and I'm kind of trying to weave it all together. But really, I feel super passionate about this because I think that it's just the next level of where we need to go to build players and build a community. So to rewind a little bit, the joust is how I explained it, and it's going to be fun. The whole idea with the joust is that it gets people involved, is that it's all inclusive, and that you're going to have the camaraderie of being on a large team. So, that's one thing that is like a little bit of a stepping stone with teams, like kind of Tyler, we were talking about this before. It's very strange how we operate as humans, where like we're really bonded to our team. And yeah, we might like guys on other teams, but like this is our team, and like we don't really, we got to play against those guys. And I like him, but he's not, I don't really want to talk to him, So the idea with the Magnificent and Glorious is that we're turning into a universal team, two universal teams. And the idea is that there's such big teams that you're going to network with all those people in the teams, and you're going to become friends with them, right? And you're going to learn from them. In fact, when you go in to do the joust, the whole experience is you're a unified one. So everybody's pit crewing for each other. Everybody's wiping each other off. Everybody's talking tactics. Everybody's like sharing details and, what they did, or what about that player? And it's so to imagine a 20-person, dynamic where we're all kind of going across the board, each other, talking to each other. And if Marcelo or you is on one of the teams, you could go up to a kid who's 14 years old and say, look, okay, man, do it like this, and, try this. And then he goes and wins, and you pat him on the back. Dude, that changes his life. He will be the next Tyler Harmon. He will be the next Marcelo Margot, simply because you just inspired him so much in that one moment, right? Not to mention, you're going to have, father-son dynamic, mother-son dynamic. You're going to have, there's going to be a whole repertoire of individuals that the general has to play, right? So the thing is with the Magnificent and the Glorious is that it can grow exponentially also, because we could do one in San Diego, but then we do one in Boston, or we do one in New York or Florida. Now that Glorious is connected to that Glorious in California. Now they go onto a Facebook group, and now they're all meeting each other and all networking, and the two generals are talking strategy. Now instead of it being a 20-person team in California, now it's a 40-person team in New York. It's a 60-person team in Florida, a 60-person team that doesn't exist maybe in a big game, But the idea is that this could be a 500-person team, a 1,000-person team, And what we need to do, and what I'm seeing in the Hormesis community, is that community, we're really here to bond with each other, really here to meet each other and to help each other and to grow and to, you know, share our life experiences and whatnot to be able to essentially help each other, right? And so we need this community. We need each other, you know? So imagine now we're breaking down the barriers of my little tiny 5-man team versus your little tiny 5-man team and this other 5-man team. And I can't really talk to you. I like you, but I can't really talk to you because we got to win, you know? So now it kind of breaks the doors off of that. And the setup for the joust is really to inspire people to play what I'm calling the duel. Okay. So the duel is it's a one-on-one on this same course, but you're an individual participant. So you're going to be responsible for getting your own coach. You're going to be responsible for getting your own pit crew. You're going to have 2 guns, 2 loaders, 2 packs. Like, this is the very elite professional aspect of it that I'm really leaning towards. And thank you, shout out to Marcelo for helping me name it the elite, because when he saw it, he said, this is elite, man. This is very elite. And I was like, a light bulb went off on my head. I'm like, this is elite one-on-one, you know, this is going to be, that's what it's called, you know, right then when you said that, Marcelo, I knew it, you know?
Awesome. Love that.
So the idea is that also people who play the joust will then get inspired to play the duel. So also what will happen is when you're on the Magnificent or the Glorious and you enter to play in the duel, now all of a sudden you've got a 20-person cheering squad that wants you to win because you're on their Magnificent team. You're on their duel team. You hear what I'm saying? So like, man, you just up-leveled so hard in the industry or in your community, because now you know all these people that you maybe didn't know before, and they're rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, imagine if we were playing on the Glorious and Timmy Johnson's playing in the duel. He's like, yeah, I'm playing the duel tomorrow. You're like, bro,
let's go, Timmy.
I'm gonna come watch you and support you because you're on my joust team. You know what I'm saying? So now we build another network of communication and you know, across the board. So the duel is really my baby, in the sense of like, I want to be playing the duel till I'm 65. You know, like if I get another wind in the game, I want to be playing the Masters in the duel, you know, because for me as an individual player that was somebody within the sport and that played on Dynasty, it's very difficult for me, and you will find this out also, very difficult for me to go play paintball. Who am I going to play paintball with? How am I going to play? I need to pretty much go and play with Dynasty because I know their codes. I know how they play. I know the field's going to be set up well, you know, and I don't want to waste my time going to a recreational field where the field's halfway deflated and the turf is terrible and I don't know anybody. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I play? You know, like, hey, do you guys know how to do this? You know, so how do I get to play? Dude, I would show up to this. If a field adopts this, I could show up. I could know that at this field, this is going to be set up. It's an easy setup. And I know there's going to be people there playing one-on-one. And I could play one-on-one for 1 hour, 2 hours, and be done for the day. And I could get my exercise, and I could get the release and the expansion that you get from when you play, and I could be out of there by noon. You know what I'm saying? And helping other people grow. So like, I see this as a big stepping stone to the future of not only younger players, but older players, including myself. So the duel is a one-on-one. It's super elite. My big vision is to make it large cash prizes, and you play for a 20-minute match with 20 seconds between points. So it's very fast. When we did this and Marcelo watched it, I mean, most people didn't even shoot a half a loader before the end of the match. So it's not a regular one-on-one. Like, it's bang, bang. It's like really bloody knuckles, really quick turnaround. Just like you were saying, Tyler, you got to be in extreme physical peak performance if you're playing at a professional level on this, or even not, even to be an amateur or novice, you're still going to have to turn it around a lot, you know? So it's going to be physically demanding. And I want that because I like that, you know, as a player. And I believe that's also kind of puts you into that next gear to be able to really show up and compete in that space. And that's going to translate into any NXL team or any other team that you play on. right? But nobody has that training. Like one thing that I always loved when we practiced and we made it a practice match, you know, and there was time between the points, it makes me feel like I have to work that much harder. When it's all very relaxed at practice, then when the tournament shows up, I go, wait a second, shoot, we only have 30 seconds. We got to get out there, you know? So you need to have that. You need to have that time is that factor that really puts the crunch on you, that makes you have to really, like, you know, learn to breathe, learn to paint, to allocate your paint consumption, learn to talk to your coaches. You know, it's like, yeah, also be physically fit. So this is the deal in a sense of elite one-on-one playing. So when you play the one-on-one, the duel, it's going to be a race to 10. So potentially, you know, a lot of matches, you know, if it's a close point to point, with only 20 seconds in between each point. So it's quick turnaround, you know. So you got to have a guy, he's going to be running you pods, getting you air. You know, it's good to have two guns. And it's clean. It's one-on-one. This isn't 10 guys shooting 7 pods on their back, you know. This is a clean format. Like, it's going to look like golf. It's going to be spotless. There's going to be people that are come out and squeegee in between points. You know what I'm saying? So it's a race to 10. You have to win by 2. And if it keeps going back and forth, it's the first one to 15. So it's going to be extensive. Yeah. And it's going to be cutthroat. It's going to be.
Yeah. Is there going to be like in tennis as well? They have the love, you know, advantage, anything like that in the gameplay?
I think that's you got to win by 2 kind of thing. That's the same sort of scenario, right? So yeah, we could call it that. And I like to borrow things from other sports because they know what they're doing, you know. So you could do that. But yeah, it's a race to 15. And then also one thing about this is there's no more cheating. We just abolish this idea of cheating. You just it's just gone. Like, you could be a cheater in this, but people will know that you're a cheater. And actually, you know, in paintball, it's sad to say that, like, some people get, like, you know, more praise for being a cheater. And I mean, we all know it's part of the game, and there is a boundary that you need to push. But majority of people just aren't good and they cheat. You know, that doesn't balance out, you know? So this is going to eliminate that, you know? And like I said, it's got 2 referees, maybe 3 referees at most. You know, you got the one guy in the little tent and you got 2 guys on the ground. It's quite clear when you get shot, you know? And there will be a lot of bang bangs, and that's a part of it, you know? And that's just the points, you know, nullify, and it goes on. So it's going to be epic, you know? It's going to be really, I'm passionate about it because I can see it already, you know? I can see how it's unfolding. So to come back a little bit, the tour, you're going to get one day. Saturday is going to be the joust. Sunday is going to be the duel. Okay. And then we're going to go throughout the whole entire nation. And we're going to end up, and we're going to be collecting the winners along the tour, right? So anybody who wins the tour in Boston, the guy who wins the tour in Florida, the guy who wins the tour, the duel, in Texas, you're invited to what I'm calling the grand finale, okay? And the grand finale is at SC Village. And it's $10,000 for first place. As a non-professional player, you're invited. That's one part I didn't say, is that professionals are not allowed to play in the duel. Only open, you know, everybody else. You know, it doesn't matter what division you're in. But wait, it's not over. You're gonna like this, Marcelo. So anybody who wins, I'm going to 8 locations. 8 people are going to be invited to the Southern California, the SC Village, and you're going to be able to play for $10,000. Right? I mean, this is all on your budget to come, and if you don't want to come, that's fine also. Yeah. But you have an opportunity to win $10,000 and get notified or get the prestige of being, you know, one of America's greatest, right? Which I'm putting this to me is very impressive.
I'm putting this out there right now for all you divisional players. If you're looking for a coach at the final event, I'm your guy. Since I can't compete, I got you. Pretty much guaranteed victory.
Okay, so
For a small percentage.
I want to actually reframe that, because my next version of this is I want to invite the top 16 best pro players. I want to handpick every single one of them, and I want to invite them to the grand finale also to play for $10,000, something like that. I'd like to give $20,000, but I need to get that okayed from Alex. He hasn't okayed that yet. So, but for a large cash prize is what I'm saying, right? So now you can
player,
That's right. So I don't know what you guys make playing paintball, for a year long, but like if I did this correctly and I started putting up 50 grand for first place as a pro invitational, would you come?
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Because you have an opportunity now to really make some pretty good cash being a pro player, right? Instead of just being on a pro team, getting paid a salary to play, extensively and all year long, which is amazing, but it does get tiring, and at a certain point there needs to be a transition. So I have another aspect of this. What was I going to say?
Any pro that wouldn't.
You guys asked me a question, so I can recalibrate.
Real quick. I'm sure you've put a lot of thought into this, and I understand making the grand prize like $50,000, which is epic if you win it, but objectively and kind of pragmatically looking at it, to really entice a lot of the pros, I think if you had like $50,000 that were paid out to like maybe like 6th place or something, or 5th place out of 15 or 16, however many you want to bring, I think that would be really alluring, because then pros would be like, okay, I could justify like getting my flight, getting this, showing up, and might not win.
Look,
but
I'm with you on that.
Like golf.
I'm with you on that, but I also want something like substantial for the first place, because as a professional player, and we all know what it's like, it's kind of embarrassing to get the prize money from a tournament in a weird way. It's like, okay, I got $1,000.
I don't even want to post those checks.
So, no, so like I hear you. So maybe it's like 25 grand is first place, because that's still a pretty decent amount. And this is further down the road. Like I'm talking too much, to be honest. But I hope it's inspiring people. That's my vision. Also, the thing is like when a pro does this, or let's say the grand finale comes. Like think about it, Tyler. You come from Arizona, maybe you can drive. So that's a couple $100. You get your own hotel room. That's like a couple $100. Your food, that's a couple $100. Maybe you've got a sponsor. They bless you up. You're in it for $1,000 to maybe win $10,000. All of a sudden that math works. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So one other aspect of this, and I'm sure I'm missing some things that I can. If you guys have questions, or if anybody has interest,
the Discord is going crazy. They have a ton of questions for you.
Okay,
if you're not in the PTG Discord, what are you doing?
Get in there. This is one thing I forgot to say, was that Alex and I are developing an app. Yeah, and when I did this with you, Marcelo, and you saw this, I remember we were like kind of just keeping time on our clock, and trying to track. Remember, there was like a disconnection between Kevin thought he had more points than Nikki, and anyway, so the whole thing that I got from that was that we need an app that is a time clock and a scoreboard, right? So we're creating an app. We've already been in production. It's going to be finished by the time we go on to tour, and you're going to download the app. It's going to be a free app. You're going to create a profile. You're going to put your picture on there. You're going to put your team. You're going to put your location. You're going to put your division, whatever that may be. And essentially, the app is going to be a handheld time clock for the match, or for the duel. In fact, you could actually manipulate it to use it for practices for Dynasty versus Heat. And you could organize it so it's the same exact as the NXL, right? And the idea with that is that now this is going to stimulate players to get connected on the app, to create a profile, and then to start challenging people. And then now I could leave the the place. I could seed them with how to do it. And then the very next weekend, Timmy and Johnny could be like, hey, bro, let's play. And they give it to Martin. And Martin's like, you ready? Go. And he presses the start clock. Okay, Timmy, you won. One for you. Okay, 20 seconds. Okay, go. Okay, Johnny, you won. One for you. So it's like keeping track of it. And what it's doing is creating I wouldn't say a tournament, but it's like a tournament energy. It's like creating a little bit more of a professionalism on the weekend when you go to play. And then when you do win, you have to have someone, you have to sign off that, okay, he played him and yeah, he beat me and okay, I accept. And you get a ranking, and actually the way that this is being unfolded is that it's not necessarily about wins, it's about matches played. So when you start playing like 100 matches, 200 matches, you get stars and you become a magus and you get all these kind of honorific titles, so to say, but it's not based on the wins, it's based on the matches you play. So what is this doing? It's getting people to play more. And even you can get credit just for checking into the field. You're going to be able to say, yeah, I was at SC Village, I was here, and you get a little something, right? And so the idea is that now we can have an online ranking system across the USA for knowing who are the good players in these areas, that maybe you've never seen before in your entire life. And you guys can go onto this app and you could be challenging each other and you could be playing and you could look and you could say, oh man, who is Scott Fair from, Florida? Like he's crushing it. He's won 100, he's played 200 one-on-ones. He's won 100 of them. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, Sarge, dude, can you get this kid out to practice? Like he's got to be pretty good, So you can start to notify, you can start to see who the people are in these pools of thousands of paintball players that are just essentially, pushed to the wayside. Only a few of the cream really get pushed through. And now we've got an ability to actually track these people and see who they are, and understand their personality. They're going to have a full profile. It'll be like you can see his face. You can see where he's from, what he's played, what team he's on, his age and everything. And now he's a prospect. Oh, hey, Sarge, oh, Dynasty. Hey, dude, this kid's good. Like, let's bring him out to the practice, Maybe there's, video of him playing or whatever. Or maybe you seek him out. It's a scouting system and it's a tracking and ranking system.
It's tremendous, man. And, all paintball as we play it right now is a bunch of one-on-ones. It's a bunch of one-on-one engagements. And it would be really cool to have a funnel to be able to pick players up and then nurture them into the 5-man style and that kind of a tactical style and start hardwiring. Because if a player can gunfight really well and, make good decisions, essentially that's what you're doing when you're gunfighting really well, is making really good decisions and timing things really well. It's a really difficult skill to like get unless you do a bunch of one-on-ones. And I know we all have done so many one-on-ones because it's tremendous for development. So it's cool to have a funnel to be able to nurture into the team aspect as well as a scouting system. That's really tremendous.
Totally. This is enhancing for all aspects of the game. Like that's what I'm aiming for, because if we can build players, then we're going to build good communities, fields. We're going to build good professional amateur teams. It's a win-win all around. So I've actually already been in contact with Tom Cole. I've shared with him a few of the details, and he's like, yeah, cool. I said, look, this could be an enhancing quality to your already amazing event where we show up, you give us a small little field in the back and we can run this thing, you just give us a little slice like this big, give us 14 bunkers, like give me 2 referees, man, I can do this, and plus what happens during the weekend, during the event, people get knocked
teams
out.
Get knocked out. Yeah,
exactly. So what do? They just spent all this money to go to, Rancho Farahueo, and now they're out of the tournament, right? And what
Rancho
do?
Farahueo, dude.
That was me and Todd's joke, actually, back in the day. Tyler, you got to tell him.
Great. That's great.
So,
I'm gonna bring it
so
back.
you, so the idea is that when people get knocked out of the tournament, well, we could be running these things, you know, or you go to World Cup and there's so many people that are just there to watch, you know, because they love it. Well, they could play this, you know, they could play the joust. We could have you know, 50 on 50 person joust running all day, you know? So man, I'm just incredibly excited for it. I feel like I tapped in on a lot of places. I feel like I missed a lot of things also. But this is just the first conversation of this, you know, for me, really.
Yeah, and we have, like I said, we've got a lot of questions and fun stuff to dive into, and this is a lot to unpack. Just to kind of recap what we've talked about, you're debuting this one-on-one format. You're going to be going around the country and looking at players and starting to essentially build a database of the current landscape of paintball out there alongside this app that you have developed. And there's going to be the two facets of the one-on-one. You're going to have the elite, which will be the most difficult and testing. And then you're going to have the joust, right? The joust and the duel.
The elite is the umbrella. Then there's the joust, and then there's the duel.
Yes. And through this, you're going to cultivate some really tremendous players, and we're excited to watch it unfold. And I think that, like I said, there's a lot to unpack and a lot of layers, but it's amazing to see the bricks start to get laid out. And, you know, like you said already, you can see it, and that's half the battle. Anything that you're going to bring into reality, you have to really tangibly see it in your mind's eye. Otherwise, there's so many details that are left to nuance, and it could be lost if you don't really apply yourself and attack it the way that you are. So it's amazing that, you know, you've already got so many of the bricks laid, you're rolling this thing out, and people are extremely excited to play this format. And not only that, but have you running around here in America, playing paintball, having fun. You know, it's a good time.
Totally. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oliver, can we jump into just a little bit of the strategy of the joust? I thought it was really cool when I was out there watching how the different coaches were choosing what players to put in at what times. And I forget if there was something like if you won 4 in a row, then your time was up, or are you on indefinitely until you lose? Is it?
Yeah, good question and good point to clarify. I mean, I'm giving you like the kind of nuts and bolts. Like we have a more detailed explanation for when people are going to be participating in it. But yeah, so that's what happens is a general flip a coin. One will call it, it's like the old school coin toss, right? So it'll be heads or tails. Whoever, you know, wins it, he'll have the choice to either act or react. So what that means is, let's just say you and Tyler are generals, right? You've got your 20-person team. Tyler's got his 20-person team. Now, if you choose to react, Tyler's got to act first. So it's just like the first person moving in the chess game, right? Totally. It's like, okay, I got to move a pawn. Okay, you move a pawn. Okay, I move. Okay, oh, you're pulling out the rook. Okay, oh, I'm pulling out the queen, you know? And it's like, this is going to be really a game of chess for the general to decide who they play, also knowing who they have to work with, you know, which will be something that non-player players, you know, like there's a lot of coaches and a lot of people who love paintball who want to be in it, who don't have the opportunity to really be in it because they're not players anymore. And maybe they're, you know, maybe too old, or maybe, you know, they've got ailments that doesn't allow them to play. This gives them a new youthful opportunity to be involved, and not only be involved, but be really kind of the head man, you know, kind of be the superstar of the team, so to say.
Yeah, that's actually exactly where I was going with this. I think this is a tremendous opportunity for coaches to come out and showcase their skills and also learn, because you're going to be given a bunch of new players, and being able to learn what players are good at what, so you can kind of gauge them and say, okay, I need your skill set against this player. You know, that's a huge part of 5-on-5 paintball is personnel and where you're going to be putting them. And, you know, it's interesting because we're kind of going through a transition with one of the teams that I coach of finding a new coach for when I'm not there. And through the process, I was like, something like this is perfect for that, because it's going to help you grow in one of the most important aspects of the game. To me, is from a coaching standpoint, I feel like one of the things that makes a coach really good is understanding what their players do well and when to use them in certain spots, right? And I feel like this is going to give you some of that. And you're right. Also give a bunch of coaches that may not have a team a chance to come out and, you know, build a reputation for themselves and, you know, then eventually maybe get a team.
Totally. Look, it's a win-win. You get to grow players and you get to grow coaches, and everybody's coinciding within the place to help each other out, you know, and you're fighting, you know, for this kind of universal team that doesn't win anything, but it's like you get to say, yeah, I'm on the Glorious, I'm on the Magnificent, both great names, you know, right? So it's like, you know, who's better? I don't know. And this could be like an ongoing journey. So to go back to your tactic a little bit is like, what you have to realize is, again, this isn't a normal game of paintball. This is kind of like you know, it's a football match, so to say. There's a lot of time in it, right? So like you can go down multiple points, but then you send Tyler in and he just takes you right back to 5 in a row, right? So it's going to unfold how it's, you know, played out. But like, remember when we saw Kevin and Nikki do it, you know, there was moments where Nikki was way ahead, and then all of a sudden Kevin was right there, and then Kevin was way ahead, and then all of a sudden and then at the very end they ended up like, throughout all the drama, it was like 1 point game or something, you know. It was like it really went the whole spectrum of it, right? So to answer your question, is each general gets what's called a trump card. I don't know if that's the name, but that's what I'm calling it right now. And so let's say I'm up, or let's say it's a tie match, and then you know, let's say Tyler's on your team and you throw Tyler out, right? And all of a sudden Tyler just goes on a run, right? And he's just like he's just killing all my kids. He's killing all my rooks. The queen is on the prowl, you know? I can be like, look, okay, take him off. And I throw the card in, you know, and I just don't want him to get 10 points on me or something like that, right? But I only have one card in the joust to do that. So you got to use it somewhat wisely, you know. If somebody wins 3 times in a row, you shouldn't just throw it, you know.
Yeah,
but
the checkmate card.
There's a lot of tactic in it because, like I said, you have to go through your whole Rolodex of players, right? So in the very beginning, let's say it's 20 people and you're the first player to play, you know, you're going to sit 20 points before you play again, right? But if you recall, when you saw it with Nikki and Skinny Kevin, Marcelo, everybody got a lot of points. I remember it's like, you
tons of action.
You think that 20 points is actually a lot to sit, but it's not. It was like, it just happened quick. You know, it goes quick because you're in the match. You're looking, he won. Okay. Oh, hey, how can I help you? You know, it's like you're in the pits in the match also,
Absolutely.
right? So it's intense, right? And you want your team to win. So the coach the general has to go through everybody first before he can start to recycle. This is another factor, is if you win, you stay on. So you're rewarded by your greatness, you know? So like I was saying before, if somebody is really winning a lot, the general can throw the trump card, right, and get you off. But like as a player, just like in regular NXL, if you shoot 2 guys, that's pretty good, right? Right? Absolutely. You're like, hey, you know, like I shot 2 guys, you know, like I did my fair share, right? And if you shoot 3 guys, amazing. If you shoot 4 guys, amazing. 5 guys, you know, that doesn't happen so much, right? But if you did, that's a great, you know, sign of wow, he's playing good, right?
It'd be cool to have like a bonus multiplier, like a kill streak, if you know, shoot 3 or 4 people in a row to get like an extra point or something. Be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that there's evolution of things. I was thinking like, you know, you have like a jester or like a joker who comes out. This is too complex for now, but like he comes out and he's got to use a pump gun or something like that. And if he beats you, he gets like 3 points, you know? So like if you're down like 2 points and there's like 1 minute to go, you're like, I got to send out the jester. So maybe a tactic would be to make like, you know, Tyler your jester, because he might win, even though he's got a pump gun, because he's really skilled, you know. But this is further down the road. But to kind of what were we talking about right before that? That was the Forget.
Huh.
I didn't sleep so much last night, man. I was excited.
You're so excited.
I was excited last night. I slept. I fell asleep at 4 a.m. I fell asleep at 4 a.m. last night, and I had to wake up at 7 to so my brain's not fully operational.
Well,
PTG
we understand
will
why
do it
you're
to you.
excited, dude. We understand because this is
Dude, I'm
definitely
on Play the Game podcast, bro. This is the #1 podcast in paintball, dude. Like, this is amazing. Bro. I'm like,
Let them know. Let them know. Yeah, it's
the
gonna be a
best
fun
part
journey.
about the, you guys know what the best part about the Spick and Span show is?
What's that?
Well, Alex, but
That you could turn
That's
it
not-
off and turn on Play the Game.
no, it's actually when it ends. Yeah, it's when Spick and Span ends. But you guys need like an Alex in here, you know? He's the only reason why Spick and Span show is stock is climbing, you know? You need to throw Alex in here and just, you know, really just boost it up.
Dude, Alex is
love
the
having
best.
It's free also.
Yeah.
He doesn't charge much.
I think he loves the camera now.
But
I think he loves the camera now.
oh man, he's a ham. He's always been a ham, dude. He's always been a ham. He pretends like he's not, but he's a ham.
That's
Oh,
true.
he's a ham.
So,
That's true.
anyways, guys, I want to also invite you guys to any point along the tour. I can send you the tour dates. I actually just got confirmation this morning that we are no longer going to Maryland. We're going to New Jersey, and we're no longer going to Central Florida paintball. We're going to Tiki paintball. So I'm gonna
Tiki's great.
revise. Yeah, Tiki's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
amazing
Yeah.
field.
We're gonna have it's gonna be a show, man. I need you guys to hop on. Just hop on for one leg. I'll pay you. You know, just come jump on and hang out. It's gonna be it's gonna be you know, essentially like a lifestyle video in between. You know, because we're gonna be going to cool places. You know, seeing sights. You know, rivers, lakes, mountains. You know, museums. You know, we're gonna be living it.
Yeah.
You don't got to
sounds
twist my
amazing.
arm, dude. Jeez, this sounds.
So you just gotta
sounds
you
amazing.
gotta look at the dates and just let me know what leg you want to jump on. Even if you just jump on for, you know, even if you fly into some place, we pick you up at the airport and then you come in for that weekend and play, and you know you'd be part of the joust. So you'd have like, you know, a form in that, and then you'd play. You wouldn't play the duel, but you would play a demo duel with probably a local pro. That's my intention, right? So you would also get to know this. I'm also planning to come to Archie's wedding. I got the great honor of doing
Nice.
Yes.
his officiating. So I'm going to come for the wedding. And my plan is to maybe do one of these for fun with pros, put something a little bit on the line so we can test it on another level, probably at Victory at one point. So maybe, you know, that's convenient for you, Marcelo. But anyways, Tyler, you're invited to whatever aspect of it you want, you know.
Dude, all day. And in New Jersey, are you going to Quick Shot Paintball? Is that where you're heading to out there? That's a really nice park.
I think it might be Quick Shot. Yeah. Let me see. Kevin is my man. Kevin's organizing everything. And I just said, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Quick Shot. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Dude, that's tremendous.
Quick
The
Shot.
community
Shout out
out
to
there
Quick
is
Shot.
they're going to be lit. And on the YouTube, we have the Elite Tour 1v1 in search of the best out there, going to Ohio, Boston, like you said, New Jersey, still in Florida, Alabama, Texas, California, double dipping in California, and going to be having a lot of fun, man. That's crazy, oh.
Yeah, dude. So I'm super excited for it. I mean, I feel like it's also the next level of my, I don't know what you would call it, mastery of the game of paintball, is to be able to bring something, you know, new and exciting to the community. Also, again, it's kind of selfishly, I get to play it and, you know, be involved in it. It's, you know, so it's kind of a win-win for me in a sense. And I feel like there's a lot of business possibility with this. You know, I feel like fields could adopt this right away. I feel like new fields can be popped up right away, specializing in only this. I feel like there's definitely something in it, you know, and I'm welcome to anybody who's listening, who's in the paintball business and who wants to give me feedback or critique it. You know, again, like I said, you know, just really look at this thing like a, you know, just come at this not knowing what you know about paintball, you know, because I feel like this is going to be different in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it looks.
I mean,
different. It looks
when you
very
step
exciting.
on this, when you step on this field, you feel the difference. I mean, remember Marcelo?
Yeah.
It was like
100%.
Yeah.
It's badass. Straight up, it's badass. The thing that I love about it is, especially in the graphics that we shared, it just looks like something that we can present to the outside world in a very clean way, and the stories to be told with one-on-ones. And don't get me wrong, I will always prefer, personally, 5-on-5 paintball. I love the team aspect of it. I love, dynamic moves within that realm, but the value in one-on-ones, and you said it perfectly, it's not to replace that, it's to add to that. The value in having and showcasing one-on-ones in our league or in our sport is so damn important. We talked about this for a long time. It's really easy to build up the stories and have these great grand prizes for one person, which obviously generates attraction. It's like, poker blew up when people started winning, millions of dollars. People will watch poker now. People didn't watch poker before. This is an opportunity for us to really have some flash and some pizzazz and really inspire the community at the same time. It's a badass idea, Oliver. I absolutely love it. Truly. Like I being there at Victory Paintball Park, watching it in person, I kept telling you, I was like, I see the vision. You're like, no, but like we're going to have this and that. I'm like, Oliver, I see it. I promise you, I see what you're seeing. Like it makes sense, so incredibly exciting, dude.
Yeah, guys, man, thanks for letting me share the whole kind of vision on here. And thanks for anybody who's listening, because it means you're kind of interested in your care and your forethinking. So yeah, again, I'm also open to any sort of reflection, any sort of adjustment, any sort of evolution of it. Like I'm humble as F coming into this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before.
Dude, I got one. I got a
Okay.
great one. Can you please make it bright?
Oh.
Bright. Yeah. Sidearms. Okay. We'll save that one for later. Sidearms are coming later, but the bright ball, the game needs the super bright ball. We have yet to have like the pro paintball. Like this is the color the pros shoot. Like you have a tennis ball. Yeah. The tennis ball is a certain color. It's the tennis ball, and I think that, that bright paintball, that is the pro paintball. This is what the color, and it could be a palette of colors, a palette of really vibrant, bright neon colors, but these are the colors that the pros shoot, because it also adds tremendous layers to me as a player playing paintball. I can read things way differently. It adds layers as a viewer being able to read it. And then you have the optics of the camera, and the camera is able to pick up everything tremendously better. And the bright ball is just the way. There's no way around it. I remember when I was a kid, we shot the bright orange ball, and that thing was amazing. And you remember those pictures of like getting the orange juice. Oh, you got the juice, it's like, how it just wrapped around their head. It was crazy.
So check this out, Tyler. Okay. So there's a couple nuances in the thing that I left out that I didn't feel were important, but I feel like it's kind of important now that you made that statement. So one thing that I tracked also in paintball is that, yes, paint is like, there's a whole spectrum of paint. There's good paint, there's really bad paint. There's that paint that's like white and like it's like it dries white, it's all like clay, and then there's like the stuff that just stains the hell out of you, right? And then you go to a paintball field and everybody's shooting everything there. So what the paintball field look like? It looks kind of bad, to be honest. There's like all different colors and all different everything. So I was thinking, and actually I got this idea from Alex also, is like, what if we made, one paint that's only for the elite duel and joust, and again, I don't know any paint guys, I'm sure that's like a whole mafia, but if they want to figure it out with me, like, let's figure it out. But it's like one paint that's like universally used for only that format. And I would actually be honestly, I would say it should be white, because white actually breaks pretty well. It's going to be super close combat. So it's like, you're going to see it when it hits you, but then it doesn't change and look terrible. And it's like, white is easy to clean, And what I would love to do next level is like, we all use the same paint. So there's no more like,
Yeah, totally.
oh, his paint batch was way better than mine, and we were bouncing those guys, and it's like it's all the same. You know, we're all using it, right? You know what it's like when you go to practice and the other team's got good paint and you've got the bad paint, and you're like, geez, you know, maybe it's good for you because you're getting new reps, but at the same time, it's frustrating. You know,
Yeah, totally.
and you don't know if you're doing actually anything right. You know, and yeah, maybe it shows up in the tournament, but imagine that, like, where everybody's using the same paint. Now we eliminate cheating. We eliminate the argument of who's got better paint. You know, it's like that stuff's out the window. Also, the one-on-one is like, it's so easy to watch and to see who's playing and to track each other. And the referees could be getting paid way more money and having a way cushier job, but doing a way like better job. You know what I'm saying? Instead of now,
Yes.
and the referees are much better nowadays, I will say, at World Cup than when I used to play. You know, they were really good. They've trained them really well, but I know it's a difficult job and I don't know what they get paid. But like, I want to make referees like celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of this, it's like they should be up there. Like, they're so valuable. Like, if you look at any other sport, you know, the referee is like a crucial part of the game. You know, he's like famous. You know, it's like, you know, NBA and NFL, like the referees are like important. You know, nowadays we don't even know who are. I mean, I don't know. I'm speaking from my old days
you're
perspective.
right, Oliver. I've been saying on this show for years that I think we need to give the referees a little bit of a personality on Go Sports. They should be. You should know who they are. It should be something that other referees strive to be. There's accountability when you're known. You know, I think it would make everything better. Have them do interviews. And, you know, the rebuttal from Jason was, yeah, we don't want them to feel like, you know, they have a brand that they have to uphold and make calls based on their personality. I'm like, it's the opposite, I think. You know, like if they're putting themselves out there and people know who they are and there's accountability and now it's a highly sought after job because it comes with these rewards, you're going to have better referees throughout the divisions. Like, they're going to want to get to the pro field. You know, that is, it's huge. We need that.
Totally. There's so much evolution that is going on, you know, and bless the PSP and everything they've done because they're doing an exceptional job, you know, Go Sports and everything. But we need another, there's just needs to be another thing. And this is where I come in.
Time out. We love you, but it's the NXL.
I know. I said that to Tom Cole the other day, and he was like, "It's NXL," and I was like, "Man, I don't know anymore." You know,
same thing, dude. It's the same thing.
I mean, but also this is what's so ridiculous about it. Let's be honest. You know, like how many times have we changed it? You know.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know,
many times.
And it's exactly. It's to the point where I'm not even old and I can't remember it anymore. You know, and I'm in it. You know, think about the people who aren't in it and older.
Do you guys remember Boogaloo? Like that,
oh yeah,
that guy is forever goated in my mind as the referee of all referees, just because of like
we did a signature band for him. We did a signature band for him because of that. You know, for Hormesis. You know,
he's the man. Yeah, we gotta show love to the refs, show love to all paintball. Once again, this is all about this game. You know what I mean? We all care tremendously about this game, and it's gonna make all levels. The hyperball players are gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? Every facet of the game will get better with more paintball. And every time I do clinics, I know we do a lot of training events. You need to be doing one-on-ones as well. That's one of the things that I leave a lot of people with is I want you playing one-on-ones against the best players out here, because if you can become a really good gunfighter, you've got a chance. If you can't gunfight well and make good decisions, you're going to have a really hard time climbing up the ranks and becoming, you know, a Division 2, Division 1, semi-pro, pro. You have to be really, really sharp and make good decisions. And the one-on-one definitely does that. And the field, if you didn't see the YouTube, definitely check out when we had that up because it looks amazing. And what you guys have created, it's like a court.
It's a court, yeah. You want to be the guy that your team goes, "Hey, Tyler, you're up. It's sudden death, one-on-one. Like, win it for us." You know, like, I mean, I want to be that guy. You know, like if you're a player and you're in any type of competitive level, professional, especially, like, it's so honestly, I watch Ghost Sports because I live over here, and it's freaking painful, dude. It's like some of the matches are painful to watch, dudes. I'm not kidding you. You know, you're there and you're in your own little world, but like as a spectator, I'm like, geez, what's going on here? They're like, oh, we don't know who to put in for the one-on-one, and I'm like, how do you not? You're a pro team, like, you know, like,
you not know this already.
Who's your best pro player? Like, are we in that? Are we there? Like, you know, like everybody on your team should be capable of winning this one-on-one. That's how I see it, you know, but nobody trains. Everybody's got a big ego, you know, everybody's afraid to play one-on-one because they're afraid to lose, because they're afraid people will say, oh, actually, he's not that good, you know? And like, that goes into another dimension of this. Who are the top 16 pro players out there? You know, like I've been tracking it. I went and looked at, you know, the All-Star, between Todd and the other guy on like who the top picks were. I tracked them down. I asked Alex, I'm asking everybody, who are the top 16 guys? Everybody's giving me different guys, you know? And I'm like, whoa, what? We live in this world? Yeah, maybe the top 5 guys are pretty consistent, but everybody else is like, oh, yeah, throw him in. And I'm like, really? Like, so I'm also curious, who are the top 16 guys, you know? And if you are considered to be a top 16 guy, will you have the audacity to show up to play this? Or will you be afraid and say, oh, I got work, you know? Oh, I can't make it, you know? Because to me, that's a telltale sign that, you know, you're living in some sort of veneer of how excellent you are in this game, you know? Because if you get invited to do something and there's a substantial amount of money on the line and your reputation is on the line and you think you're a competitive pro player, well, the normal thing to do would be to accept that and to take that challenge, correct? But I'd be curious to see how many people would just say, oh, yeah, busy that weekend, you know? And I want to know who the top best 16 players are. And I want to actually know who the top number 1 guy is. Like Greenspan's epic, like no doubt, you know? How is he going to do in this? Is he going to have the, you know, is he going to do good or is he not? I don't know. I'm curious, you know?
I actually think the fear of failing in this format is totally unwarranted and really doesn't actually shed much light on how good you are in the other format. I think they're kind of completely different things. You know, being able to see, especially Ryan's one of these players that can see moves, go through, shoot 2 or 3 bodies and save a game. That doesn't quite, it does translate to one-on-ones. Again, vision and timing and, you know, the mind games of playing with your opponent, it does. But at the same time, I don't think it does. So players shouldn't have a fear of like, oh, I don't want to go, you know, because if I lose, people are going to think I'm not actually that good. I don't think it makes sense. I think it's unwarranted. You know, I really do. It's a new kind of format. And to be, you know, real and pragmatic about the whole thing, majority of us sitting here, you included, Oliver, Tyler, myself. Yeah, we play one-on-ones, but I guarantee you that all 3 of us have practiced 5-on-5s way more than we've practiced one-on-ones. It's kind of a new thing. So it should be looked at as like, this is a new opportunity to be really good in a different type of paintball. You know, granted, I think we all believe that we're all really good at one-on-ones. And, you know, Tyler, you've proven it in some formats. Oliver, you have as well over in Europe. I have yet to prove in a one-on-one format, but I've won a lot of, you know, big one-on-ones in tournaments. Not quite the same.
No, it's big though. That should translate into the tournament, you know? Certainly. Like, for instance, like, yes, it's a lot of pressure when you're tied and you go to overtime and then it goes to one-on-ones and then now, you know, you got to put the whole team on your back and you got to win the match for them in one-on-one. Like, that's insane amount of pressure, you know? Mm-hmm. And I get that. But you, as a competitive athlete in the professional level, you should, if you think you're good, you should step up to that challenge and you should be victorious in that. Or, you know, Certainly. At least you gave it your best. And that will translate into this because let's go. I'm going to go right at Greenspan. Like, Greenspan's definitely one of the top, like, and he's been, but would you put him out in the one-on-one? Like, he hasn't ever gone out in the Dynasty one-on-one. Why is that? You know, is he, you know, what's the reason behind that? I don't know. But if he played this and he got really good and he got competitive, now he'd be like, yeah, you're putting me out as the one always in the one-on-one when it comes down to that match. So it's bulking everybody up in the same time. You know, like this is going to affect how you play in the NXL, no doubt, and how you play in the XL will affect this. You know, and ultimately, like I said, we're trying to make better players, and I would love to see who the top best pro players, but more importantly, I would love to see who the next generation of pro players are, you know, and I would love to give them a stepping stone of how to do it and how to actually maybe make some money doing this. You know, I was always dreaming one day I'm going to be a pro paintball player. One day I'm going to make all this money. And you know what? It didn't really happen, but I'm ready to make it happen for people. Like, actually, I recognize that that's a little bit more of my service into this. I'm ready to make it happen to people. I'm ready to get you paid, Tyler. I want you to win 50 grand.
Me. This is for the youth. No, and I'll definitely take that 50K. You know, I'll run up in there and do my thing. But
no doubt. But what I'm saying is, like, also the youth. But you guys are still on the tip of the spear, you know? So if you guys make it cool and you guys get to relish in your victories and have some cash to feed your families and actually, you know, could be proudly presented to the general public as I am a professional paintball player. I just won the duel for X amount of dollars. I've won 3 of them this year. I've made this much money doing it. Now there's some respectability with that title, you know? As a professional paintball player. And then what that does is that inspires that whole next generation, you know?
Yeah.
So really, you know, we've got a lot of work on our hands here.
And it's a, you have to see the big picture, right? This isn't going to happen overnight, but it's a broad vision, and it will only become more solidified with, you know, having great people alongside helping, nurturing the sport.
Totally.
But it's, Oliver, that is it's really profound, because you have to, like you said, nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to save paintball. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to save it. We have to save it ourselves. And with, you know, all of us coming together in the name of the game and giving it the best light, is the optics of it with a one-on-one is going to provide that ability to really capture some crazy stuff. And then you're going to also, from what it sounds like, change a person's life, you know, in a pretty big way.
Yeah.
And it could be something where, you know, and then mom looks at it, she's like, whoa, you know, Jacob won $50,000 last weekend at this tournament. They're like, what? What? He's playing paintball? So it could be something where mom and grandma are like, well, you better go get you a paintball gun. You know what I mean? So, you know, we gotta make sure that they're saying things like that.
Dude,
you know?
talk about Target or Walmart paintball gun market going through the roof. Grandma's out there.
Stingray's on the rise.
Like a good one. Yeah. Let's get this one for Timmy. Dude, but that's how it was. Like, that's how it was. Like, you'd go to, like, you know, Big 5 Sports and you'd see this stuff. I don't know what's in there anymore. I mean, I don't live there, so, you know, maybe is there a paintball section at Walmart still? You know, like, can you still go buy a paintball gun? Yeah, good.
There is.
Well, let's beef that up. You know, let's beef that up. You know, we need another We could sell F1s in there. You know.
And yeah, man, it's gonna be really fun to watch this all roll out. We can't wait to see the first event roll out. And where can people get involved with this and, like, sign up and become a part of the community?
So we're just, like, slowly kind of releasing little bits at a time to make sure that we've got a lot of our, you know, T's crossed and I's dotted. But currently the plan is that you're going to register at your field. We're going to make this announcement probably by the time that this is out, and the field's going to take the payment. They're going to take the registration, and they're going to organize everything. And we're going to roll up. We're going to build the field, and we're going to have a slam dance Saturday and Sunday. And so pretty much check your local field that's going to be participating within the tour. You know, is the answer to that. And
dude, Oliver,
just stay
real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I saw in one of the flyers, register at hormesispaintball.com. So I've been flashing that banner. Did I mess that up?
No, it's all good. That was the way it was, but there wasn't. We weren't prepared to do that on Hormesis at that point.
My bad,
but
guys.
I think that No, it's all good. It's just, I'm also into making
Still register
errors.
at Hormesis. Yeah.
Still come to
Errors
Hormesis.
are good, dude. Yeah. Still register at HormesisPaintball.com. No reason not
Just
to.
go to Hormesis. There might be something for sale, What did you call it, Tyler? I think I'm going to steal it from you. In the name of the game, is that what you said? It's
in the name of the game.
There we go. Yeah.
Hormesis, in the name of the game, man. Thanks, bro. Thanks for the free T-shirt, bro.
Dude, he took Elite Tour, and in the name of the game,
yeah, I know how to yield from these types of things, man. I'm a farmer,
the
bro.
amount of stuff that
I know
we've taken
harvest.
from you. Yeah, the amount of stuff we've taken from you. It's only fair. It's only right.
Dude, it's a win-win, man. I mean, like, this is my next path. Your guys' next path is going to be even more epic, and I'm going to be there supporting you guys. Maybe I'll have a podcast at that point.
Yeah,
you guys will be retired from the. You guys will be retired from the podcast game. It'll be me and Ryan in his garage.
Just join the PTG show. What do you mean? You want a podcast? Here you go.
Take it.
Yeah, no, you guys are epic, man, and what you guys are doing here is so cool. And I just, dude, honestly, I just got a huge second wind for the whole paintball community. Yes, it was precedented off of Hormesis, but it's like coming in with clear eyes again, and a real deep appreciation for what goes on there. Because to be honest, I was just so in it in my own little reality for so many years, trying to be the best, and it worked to a certain degree, but there was also a little bit of suffocation for myself. So to be able to come out and then to come back in is like, super exhilarating,
Well, yeah, your spiritual journey on the paintball path has been a crazy one, from start to where we're at right now. And I kind of would like to pick your brain on that journey, because you started as a youngster playing this game, cut your teeth, became an amazing paintball player, still are, and you have done so much in your career. Goated, top of Goat Mountain. There you are. You're sitting up there. It's just like the most supreme. And to be on this journey and then be bringing it full circle. And I love what you talked about, how paintball started like in an agricultural field somewhere where these two guys were just like, hey, stupid, I'm going to get you, boom. And then they started playing paintball. And now here we are. We have a podcast. We're sitting here. But what has that journey been like for you from the beginning of the paintball journey to right now? And like the future, you're already drawing it out. But man, I'm just excited for you, bro.
Yeah, bro. Thanks. Good question. I mean, look, it's so interesting when you start to track yourself, like track your life, like where did you come from? What did you, how did you end up in Modesto to play paintball that one day, to meet maybe Rich Telford, who was somewhat of, this celebrity within the game at that time, who did the same thing, in another random time. It's like there's so many possibilities. It's insane. Even for you to be listening to this right now, the occurrences that needed to happen for you to arrive here are infinite, and it's insanely spiritual if you think about it, and what are we all doing for each other, So my life, since I've started playing paintball, I've tried to recognize why I even did it, and like, how did it even happen? And to be honest, I can't explain it besides the fact that something made me do it. And I like how Maddie calls it, whether it's a demon or an angel, it doesn't really matter. It's just something is forcing us to do this thing. Even you guys, track your life, track it. I leave, and because, it's like once you get enough food, you're full, and it's time to, do the dishes and move on, right? And that's how I felt. Maybe you guys will get there one day, and maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you'll play till you're 500. But I was full, and now it's like to leave and then to come back to it with a whole new perspective, with a whole new tool belt of tools, because I have been on a personal development kind of journey, so to say, and it's just a rebuilding of my personality and myself since I left the game. And now I can bring all that stuff back to it, and to be honest, there's a deep, there's an undertone to the why of this. And I think we've spoke about it before a little bit, but I'm really into personal, and I truly believe that paintball has helped me on a on a maturing level, as well as a spiritual level, as well as a, you know, a very pragmatic and relatable level. So I see what it's done to me. I know the benefits of it. I could write a book on it. I'm sure you guys could also. We could all co-write this book on the spirituality of paintball, or whatever you want to call it. And it's like, what is making us do it? How is it happening? What have we learned from it? What can we share from it? And how can we continue this great delivery that has come to us called the game of paintball, right? And it's all part of our evolution. It's part of my evolution, it's part of your evolution. The difference is we're at different segments of our evolution and different segments of what are essentially our path, yeah? And it's gonna keep unfolding. And I'll tell you right now, life is amazing. Once you get even older, it gets even better if you've got the right hard drive on there, you know, the right software in there to be able to realize that. So now as I'm getting older, I'm realizing I've got all this wealth from my youth, all these experiences, all these, you know, essential victories, and they're under my belt. And now I've got these other tools of maturity. And now let me come back into the paintball and let me help other people, you know, and let's grow this sport. And in the process, let's grow the community and let's grow ourselves from the ground up. You know, I mean, the Hormesis community is kind of one of the healthiest things online that I've ever seen, you know, like, and it kind of happened naturally, you know. So there's a little bit of cleanup work you have to do every once in a while, but for the most part, everybody's in there and they're all, you know, it's somewhat superficial if you think about it, but yeah, you know, they're posting pictures of their headbands and they're talking about paintball and they're taking pictures of themselves. But at the same time, that's not what it's about. It's about that we're all connecting with each other and that we're all helping each other, all supporting each other. Again, everybody's on different paths, different sections of their timeline, and we're all there to kind of remind each other of the path and the timeline. And if you get off of it, how to get back onto it, you know? And in the weirdest way, paintball is a super spiritual game. And I know deep down inside is if people outside of paintball who are doing crazy things played paintball, they wouldn't be doing those crazy things. And it's cliche to say, but like, yeah, paintball saved my life, right? And it was an old JT shirt that I made. And look, if you look at it, it's not that paintball saved your life. It's that the action of paintball, the activity behind it saved your life. You became friends with these people. You built a career. You maybe built business. You built relationships. You know, there's a networking, a web behind this paintball game that we, you know, are playing. There's so much more to it, you know? And so that's been my journey to recognize that and to be able to come back into it now and slowly deliver what I believe is also an amazing offering for the game, but also deliver this personal evolution towards each other. And, you know, I feel like we need to have a healthy cathartic release as a masculine male. Where do we do that? You know, totally. We go to the bar and we get drunk and we fight other guys, you know, or we go and, you know, you do something horrific to somebody else, you know. We need to, you know, release this. Paintball is an optimal place to go out there and scream and to get nasty and to bang yourself up against the ground and to get bloody and to shoot each other and to get your knuckles shot to bits, have your neck welts. Like you feel you're a real modern day warrior, you know? And I think we've talked about this before on other podcasts, but this whole archetype of the warrior is an essential aspect of a masculine maturity, as well as a feminine to a certain degree. It just comes at different times for the female, you know. And we need to. I want everybody to be excellent at whatever it is they do in life. And if you choose paintball, I just happen to know how to do that, so I can help you. But from that, I can do other things and become excellent at them also because I know what it takes now. So if you are in whatever aspect of your life, business, you know, martial art, whatever it is, and if you can figure out how to become excellent at that because you build the confidence that you need to believe that you can do it, and then you achieve it, which is great results and potential financial wealth and potential, you know, all these other aspects that are fruitful in life. So it's like, how do we all make each other excellent? Let's all make each other excellent.
Bill and Ted, let's go. And the paintball game, is so potent. You're right, Ollie. It has so many. Matty Marshall always talks about the gifts of the game, and there's so many gifts of the game off the field, but more importantly, on the field, in between the net, in the pits, in the camaraderie, in the mess. It's like it's this crazy mess, and you have to dance really well in the mess and put the pieces together and be.
Which is a metaphor for life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which is a metaphor for life, right? It's like, it's a freaking chaos out there, dude. I mean, it's insane, So how do you dance through it, And you got to have a brother or a sister or somebody that could dance with you, and it makes it a little bit more elegant, a little bit more joyful, Dancing by yourself is cool too. I dance by myself, but it's nicer when you have a partner,
We see the Instagram videos. They're popping. We need some more of that action. Can you please send PTG some more of that action? Because he gets down. He's getting down right now on the YouTube. Yeah,
Let's
baby.
go.
He's the man. Hey, and also anything that you do with the 1v1 league, please tag us in all of it, because we want to share and keep boosting that for you as you're on the journey. Any stops you're making or anything that you want to get out, PTG has your back. We want to help you on that journey, dude.
Excellent, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Always.
Oliver, what do you think about the current state of professional paintball as it is? To just kind of take a little sidestep away from the one-on-ones. Have you been watching?
Dude, it's so good. I mean, honestly, I'm so impressed with Dynasty. I got the gift to play with them in World Cup to really feel it, and I just think that it's just really remarkable what you guys are doing. And I feel like the NXL and the Go Sports and everything, paintball's at its peak. I entered back into it, and I felt like it was really at Goat Mountain, and I feel like I wish there could be better pro teams also, and I would love to help them get better, and I would love to foster better players. But the top 4 teams, you guys, Dynasty, Heat, Impact, I don't know who else. Who's the 4th? You think?
Damage, probably.
Damage,
right
Damage.
Yep.
Damage is epic too. I mean, amazing to play them and to see them still being able to play at. It's amazing to see that there's really there's longevity in this game. To be honest, I feel like that's what's happening. That's showcasing what the possibilities of this game is that wasn't before. To be able to play paintball into your 40s.
Those top 4 teams, I'm pretty positive, are the oldest teams in the league. Not oldest teams, have the oldest players on those teams.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's like Archie said something yesterday. He's like, it's like being an old DJ. You just get better when you get older. And I'm like, okay. But I get what he's saying, because they've done it so much, is what he's saying.
Totally.
Is that a new DJ will come in and he hasn't DJed as much, but then you got a guy like Tiesto's been DJing since 1990 or something like that, and he's still amazing. But no, I mean, I think paintball's amazing, and I feel like it's in an apex, and I feel like I'm feeling that energy from the Hormesis aspect of it. There's a lot of people now doing kind of what you guys are doing. You guys really inspired this whole online kind of paintball podcast. I don't know. I'm stoked with it all. I couldn't be happier with where it's at, and I couldn't be happier to be re-entering it where it's at, and bringing this kind of project with it.
Yeah, it's a powerful project. And yeah, there's definitely, with social media and all the hardworking media people out there, there's more eyes on paintball than ever right now. And we just got to make sure we keep putting our best foot forward and building the best product that we possibly can on all levels, and keep creating good environments as well. Like at your local fields, make sure you help out, be the person that goes above and beyond, help people, communicate. It all translates back into your real life as well. So just open up, go out there and have fun. And a lot of amazing, literally miraculous things will happen, not only on the paintball field, but in your everyday life through all the relationships that you can build. And that's, I think, the biggest thing that Ollie's hitting on is, that's what it's all about. It's all us together in this game and trying to build this thing up and helping support each other through the hurdles, because life isn't always, sun rays. There are some cloudy days as well, and we got to be there with each other through it all, because that's what matters the most.
100%. Langman, should we hop into the Discord? We got a bunch of people that asked some questions for you.
Yeah. Give it to me.
A lot. We got a lot of action here. All right. You got one, March?
Go ahead. Look like you just grabbed one.
No, if you got it drawn up.
Okay.
let it
Yes. Big L wants to know, for Oliver, what future collaborations does Hormesis have coming? Anything to be on the watch for?
Oh, you mean collaborations with other? Well, no, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I'm collaborating with teams and players to do the lines. The other collaborations, like kind of outside of paintball, they're kind of just for fun. We just did one with there's like a local brand here called Peking Indo, and we made some shorts. I'm sure you might have seen them at this point. But in terms of big collabs, we don't have anything that I know about in the plans. I know it's 420 there today, and Alex had some sort of collab with some sort of vape pen company.
There we go, Al.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's the Tiger Band. The Tiger Band is dropping. I think that's the one.
The Tiger Band.
Tiger weed, bro. We got to get you a tiger weed, Tyler.
That's hilarious. Let's go.
Tiger weed, Tyler, bro. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those bands are probably live while you're listening, so be on the lookout. If you're not looking out for it, I mean, what are we doing? What are you doing right now?
I think it's right now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, I got one from
cool. What's the next question?
Matt. He says, "Hi, Ollie. With you being the GOAT, you've obviously inspired many players along their journey. Who has inspired you on your journey?"
Oh, such a good question. This is what's also really fun about the journey is that you get inspirations throughout the journey. There's certain guys at certain points that do specific things for you. No doubt Alex has been one of the biggest inspirations for me because he's always pushing me to be better and, always challenging me. So, to have someone like that in your life is just invaluable. Rich Telford really inspired me as a kid, Tyler. I'm sure you have the same reflection. Yes. He was just always this solid dude who was super strong, and he wouldn't take nothing from nobody. He was an exceptional human being to watch and emulate, and he was very helpful for me. I had another guy who actually I just recalled this memory the other day that was really important to me. There was a guy named Eric Baker, and he worked for JT, and he came from motocross, and he was like the first guy to come up to me and say, "Hey, look, kid." I was like maybe 18 at this point. And he's like, "Hey, look, kid, you're valuable. We'd like to pay you to play for Dynasty." This is like nobody was getting paid on Dynasty. "We'd like to pay you from JT just to play on Dynasty because we see your value." And I was like, "Oh, okay," and he was giving me cash just to play on Dynasty. I was going to go to Dynasty anyways, but it was just another helpful, I could live at that point. Right.
Yeah.
I think all pro teams who have sponsors and the sponsors play the pros, they should also pay the players. Like HK should be paying you like $100,000 just to wear HK. Like I'll pay you $100,000 just to wear a Hormesis headband, but you won't do it.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
But what I'm saying is every company should be fostering players, because that's what happened to me. That's what Hormesis is doing, right, Marcelo? Yeah. It's like we want to foster players and we want to feed you so that you can do this, because you cannot do this if you're not fed. And what I mean by that is by getting paid. You just can't do it. Like it's literally impossible, to do this and not get paid anything, especially at a pro level. You deserve it at a certain point, So anyway, sorry, that's side tangent.
And that speaks volumes about, the pro landscape and the amount of passion and devotion to this sport that we all love so much, because the fact of the matter is that not every pro makes money unless they're out there hustling and doing, the clinics and doing whatever they got to do to make the most of their time while they're a pro. But it speaks volumes about what we do. And it's so potent. It's so captivating that it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it because I love it. It fills this void that I need. Playing paintball is the X factor in my life, no matter what. So it's just it's very inspiring in that regard as well, and it speaks volumes about the sport of paintball and how potent it is. Like, that's the best word I can come up with. It is just extremely a potent sport. Once you play it and it gets you, you're like, man, I can't stop thinking about that next move, or, you know, this next little nuance in the game. There's so many different layers that are just truly captivating.
Totally.
100%.
I mean, there's some truth to that, Tyler, and I agree with you. And it's super romantic in that sense, but also, you know, it needs to change. And I don't want you to be playing paintball just because you're so passionate about it and you're not getting paid and you can't feed your kids, you know, and you're 40 years old. You know, that's actually technically not responsible, you know, and I want you to be the best goddamn player you can be, Tyler, and I want to feed you cash so that you can be that thing, you know, and so that you can feed your kids and so that you can play paintball at the top level, so that you can inspire the next generations to do that, you know. Every company can pay you. Trust me. Every company that's out there can pay pro players. They just choose not to, you know, for some reason. They might pay your team a little bit, but they don't really, you know. If you look at every other sport, if you look at skateboarding, man, skateboarders make a ton of cash because all those companies spotlight the individual and pay them cash so that they can go and they can, you know, win competitions and they can be the best they can be. And that industry blew up. I used to skateboard, you know, and then when paintball was just like this, I thought it was going to be the next thing. And then skateboarding went, and it's because the companies put the cash back into the players or into the riders, you know.
And in the early days, it wasn't the case, right? It took the birthing of,
wasn't the case.
Yeah, and I think that's really where we are. You know, we're still in the early stages of this, but when you have, you know, the Picasso mind frame going and you're in the creative flow, the vision and the dream, that is the dream. My dream for paintball is that one of these youngsters, like these 8 to 10-year-olds that are playing, I see them, they're ballers, that they're going to be able to make a life and have a way. What am I doing if that kid doesn't have a way? What am I doing? You know what I mean? So that's the forefront, is making sure that the youth and that, you know, grandma and grandpa are going to be like, let's go get Jimmy the paintball gun, you know, because
well, this is what's really cool about what's happening right now in the cycle of paintball, is a lot of people who were not supported by their parents, who were, you know, maybe a little bit older than my generation, or maybe my generation, or maybe even some of your guys' generation, and then they left because they didn't have the support, and they went and they got careers and they got jobs, and then they had babies, and now they're kind of like, oh, okay, I've got cash and my kid's 10 years old and I want him to play paintball, you know, or let's take it. And they're supporting these kids to play paintball, you know, like that's what I see. It melts my heart in the whole Hormesis community, is because it's like, I never got that, you know, like that. I mean, you got that, Tyler. That was very cool. And actually, Marcelo, you got that too, you know, so you guys are very fortunate in that sense, but a lot of people don't get that, you know, so you can probably attest a little bit of your success to that. You know what I'm saying? Right there.
I would not, I know, you know, I'm not going to speak for Marcelo, but myself, and I think I can just safely say we would not be where we're at without, you know, the help of just the framework of thought of our fathers. You know, that it's really important to just be an open book with your youngster, that you can help nurture them into the game. And thankfully, you know, we got our butts kicked, and that was fun too. You know, being the youngsters in the game, you get, you know, it's a steep learning curve, but it's very rewarding. And it's also like a passing of the guard from like, all right, you know, here's your sword, go out there and good luck, warrior. You know, I have complete faith in you to go out there and sustain yourself and be able to hold your own out there. And if you get messed up, I'll be right over here on the sideline. I'll pick up the pieces with you and we can figure this out as we move forward. You know, so it's definitely very beautiful. And shout out to all the parents out there that take care of their youngsters and help them out. Yeah.
Well, the Hormesis Iron Kids documentary, the deep undertone of that is the value of parents, you know, and fathers in particular, because without Alex's dad, honestly, probably none of this would be happening. Honestly, you guys might not be having this podcast. I might not be where I am now. I mean, I wouldn't be. So, it's to really like zoom into on a microscopic level to see how big of an imprint one person can have in your life on a positive note, and what can unfurl from that is just astronomical. Like, to Alex's dad is probably the reason why paintball is the way it is right now, and if he didn't exist to a certain degree, the Iron Kids didn't exist. Well, Alex wouldn't have existed for sure. Iron Kids don't exist. The dynasty doesn't exist. There's a lot of factors that are, a lot of players played because it's just crazy. This is, anyways.
Yes. No, he is, he's right up there on Goat Mountain with you. You know what I mean? He's posted up side by side with you.
Yeah, you'll see it in the documentary. It's going to be pretty beautiful.
I can't wait.
It's really a memoir to him, to be honest. The deep hidden code to that is really a memoir to Alex's dad. Between Alex and I to everybody who watches it.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. All right, Lang, Mr. Oysterling, he says, Oliver, I am curious, did you have any pregame rituals or particular things you tried to focus on heading into a tournament? That's part one.
Into a tournament, I just always wanted to be physically sound and healthy, like I wanted to be, I would run. Running was pretty much all I ever did. I would run like long runs on the beach. I felt like if I could run under a 6-minute mile, always, I was in pretty good physical condition to compete in the X-Ball. And, I'm a big sleeper. I love sleep, and I love, this is where I get a lot of my rejuvenation. And so I would do a lot of sleeping between tournaments, because a lot of the times back in the day it was back-to-back tournaments. So it was like we'd a tournament and we'd fly home. We'd actually do a little party, and then it would be like sleep and restoration for like 3 or 4 days, and then be off to the next thing,
Yeah, totally.
But before a match, I think that's probably more important to know. You've got to, as a professional athlete, you've got to create through exploration and personal experience. And again, maybe not even professional, just in general, something that you need to do for yourself, by yourself, to prepare yourself mentally and physically and spiritually for the battle that's about to ensue. And so you need to get creative on what that is. And I'm sure each of you have your own thing. I've got my own thing. I need to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes by myself in like kind of a breathing exercise to really get centers and to really get grounded and to really get my body fully oxygenated to be prepared for the undertaking.
Absolutely. Love that. It's a great response. The second part of his question was also, who was your favorite coach you've ever had, and what was it about that coach that had an impression on you?
I mean, it's like you get inspired by so many different people. Of course, Shane gives you, he gave me something that was invaluable. I don't think he was a great coach, so to say, but in terms of like a figure mentor, he gave me something that no other coach could have given me. I actually really like being coached under Skinny Kevin, because he's super calm for the most part. At least when there's craziness, he can also explode, which evokes a certain type of feeling within a player to be like, okay, this guy actually takes this thing really fucking serious. Although he's very calm and relaxed and methodical and precise and detailed, and I really like that, because for all players, we have so many things going on, I mean, too many things going on. And in fact, you got to kind of get out of your own way sometimes. So when you have a coach that's really organized, like Skinny Kevin, who's very and essentially passive, but also can be very upfront with you, I really enjoy that, And he's probably the only person who can coach Dynasty. Like nobody else can, because he knows how he doesn't boy them. He doesn't glorify Ryan, he doesn't put him up on a pedestal, whereas in other coaches might be like, oh, but you're Ryan Greenspan, it's like, Kevin's like, yeah, get down there, Ryan, like I'm the coach, but in a way that works, because then Ryan respects him and he respects Ryan. And it's, it's a mutual thing, because it's also hard to have a coach that is under experienced than you, so to say, right? Because you're like, well, I don't know, bro. You're telling me to do that, but like I kind of know better. But I'm the player, so you got to listen to the coach. It's kind of a juxtaposition, right? That's why Todd works also, because he's got the game in his hands. He understands the game. He's played it at the top level. If you had somebody that wasn't as talented as Todd being your coach, you might be like, bro, dude, come on, you don't know what you're talking about, So that's why I really like Skinny Kevin,
Yes.
Oh, Todd is one of the best,
Absolutely. Scream it from the mountaintops. All right, we got Kaylin from Inspired Paintball. Oliver, what was your favorite thing about your early days playing woods ball? Do you feel like woods ball is important for development as tournament players?
For sure, yeah. I think woods ball is such a great place to explore and to test essentially the waters of what's possible for you. And I used to love woods ball, and I still love woods ball. I will say that I haven't played at a woods ball field that is really good. And the last, even before I left, a lot of woods ball fields kind of, they went to more like modern bunkers, like tanks and blah, blah, blah. And, I like really woods, like where it's like deep in the woods. Alex showed me something when we played at Mare Island where he split the seam of the field and he crawled up this like shallow anise that was maybe only, like 2 feet tall. And like he would just crawl all the way through the very dead center of the field with, pretty much the whole field on both sides. And then he would come around and backdoor them on both sides, And it's like, that right there was my education of how to play the snake. You know what I'm saying? In the weirdest way. So definitely it fosters your tournament skills playing woods ball. Again, I was talking to Archie yesterday and he said something interesting to me. He's like, yeah, I like going and playing golf when it's hot because it's like doing yoga. And I'm like, okay, I like that you're even aware that you're doing something for another reason, So when you go to play woods ball, yes, you're playing woods ball, but tactically think about it as if you were playing a tournament, or like explore what it would be like playing this side of the field, which would be similar to like the Dorito side of the field or whatever it might be in woods ball, right? And you can just create these scenarios in your head and explore them. And I like people who do that. So,
Yeah, fantastic.
Good creative.
100%. All right, Dan Sheckley. Oliver, having won everything there is to win in paintball with multiple teams, you've solidified yourself as one of the most iconic players in the history of the game. That being said, I'm curious to know if you had any regrets in your career or wish that things had panned out differently.
I mean, that's always an interesting one when you have a self-reflection on your life and timeline. Again, I invite everybody to do that, to understand it a little bit more. I honestly will say that I don't have any regrets in paintball. And that's why I was able to walk away when I did, because I felt satiated with my exploration of it and my achievements of it. If I hadn't, I probably would have still been playing, And again, we're all on different timelines and different experiences. So no, I don't have any regrets. The one thing that really hurt me a lot in my career was, obviously I kept breaking Alex's heart a little bit in the leaving and departing of teams. And I mean, he did it to me too, and I guess that's kind of natural in times and you kind of have to do it. But there was like maybe, like 2 or 3 years, where I just didn't even, Alex and I just didn't even talk, and, it probably built our relationship to what it is today in a way. So again, I wouldn't regret it, but I would have liked to have had him in my life and some of the other Dynasty guys in my life at that time. It was a little bit of a hard time for me, especially, being young 20s and, losing half of your friends just because you made a business deal. And yeah, you just get more mature with age and realize that, some of it is just business and some of it is, when you put the feelings behind and when do you actually appreciate somebody else's success, That was something that I didn't do also in my career, is I didn't really cherish other people's successes. I was really focused on my successes. And then once I retired from paintball, I really became an ultimate paintball fan where I cheer for people who I believe are the best players because of what they do and what they put out for the sport. So I became, a big fan of individuals, so to say. So yeah, it was very me oriented when I was playing, and that's how I was able to have the success I had. But that doesn't get you so far in life to a certain degree. So, it has to change.
Sure. Man, that's a fantastic answer. And there's a second part to it. Was there a moment in your career that sticks out as being your proudest moment, either on Dynasty or the Ironmen or any other team you played with?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, because I just did this men's retreat the other day, and we had to do all these things. So that's why I remembered the aspect of the guy Baker who gave me the money from JT. And the other memory that came through was, I was playing for the Ironmen when I was 17, and in that finals match against Aftershock, and kind of naively, not even knowing like the magnitude of that. Because it was my first year. I was on the Ironman. We had won a tournament. We were, that was when you refed. We had placed another second or third place or somewhere else. And then if we won that tournament, we won the World Cup and we won the series, which actually hadn't been done, I think, at that point. And I was 17. So I remember recalling that in my memory recently, and like Eric Roberts slid into the snake before me, and he got shot off the break, and I filled into it. And like, again, it's just crazy. It's like everything just worked in my favor. It was like Ryan Williams popped around, I shot him, and then I shot another guy, and then I went in and I shot another guy. I shot like 6 or 7 guys, and it was like I didn't even know what I was doing. And then I was like, go to get the flag, and Rich Telford's there, or somebody else is there, and it's like, yeah, we won. And I'm like, what? What happened? They're like, you shot everybody. And I'm like, I don't even know what happened. But anyways, that memory came through the other day, and it was kind of a forgotten memory, to be honest. So thanks for asking that. Yeah.
Oh man, that's tremendous.
Awesome.
That is so
absolutely.
cool. I love that. I love that answer, man. Ollie, people showed out here tonight. We have, let's see, we've got a lot of them in here. We have a voting system too. So everybody in PTG world, you vote on the questions, and they have the highest likelihood of making it on the air. Let's see, for Oliver from CM Harry, with this new one-on-one tournament, will there be a national ranking system? We kind of went over that. And then also, I'm curious, is it going to be a series as it moves forward? Like, are there going to be tournaments, or how is that looking for the one-on-ones?
Yeah, good question. So the app will do the rankings, and then we'll create some sort of aspect of that for the Glorious and the Magnificent for the Joust, because we want to track who wins more there also, because that's kind of an ongoing competitive thing. Mm-hmm. And then of course we're gonna yield a victor of the search for the best. So there's going to be like top 4 guys that are going to be like kind of famous by the end of the tour, so to say, or 8 guys. And after that, to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen. And this is really my first initiative to take this out and to give it to people, and to, like I said, seed the fields with it. And I guess I'm going to retreat back to my little island here, and I'm going to wait to see what everybody thinks, and what people are talking about, and do they want it more, or is it stupid? Is it a big failure? Is it a big waste of time, and fields aren't interested in it because they don't sell enough paint? I don't know, or is it going to be exponential where every field's like, yeah, I want to adopt it today, like, tell me how to do it. I want to be running these things. Then I would say the next thing is to probably maybe get connected with the NXL and do something at World Cup would be the next thing. And then potentially do some type of epic invitational event somewhere tight, with large cash prize, and get the pros and get the amateurs and get the, novices, and then do some sort of thing for the Joust. Yeah. That's further down,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Love that. All right. Oh, my last question is from Chad Figs. Oliver, I'm excited about your new one-on-one series. Personally, I enjoyed the play style of the Ultimate Shootout and the UFC fight card style of the Pro Tour. How will your series be unique, and what is the media plan for coverage? So we already answered the uniqueness of your series, but I really am curious about the media plan for these events.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the way you can make money in anything is by owning a media company. So we would need to create a media brand behind it, or if Go Sports wanted to be friends with us and adopt us, I'm down for that. I think that media-wise, this is going to be the next level of how you can capture it, because think about the potentiality of only filming 2 guys on a crispy clean court with limited bunkers, without not those ugly bunkers that are like, so super big, you don't know what's going on. And it's like you could have like 5 drones flying around them, up above them, all around them, like you could have cameras on the bottom, there's so much potential of filming these characters and creating a story behind these individuals that you want to root for them, and I don't know how to do a media company. If anybody has a media company and they want to partner up, call me. If you know how to do any of this stuff, figure out how to get a hold of me, because we need your help. So to answer that question, I don't know. I would like to say when it's ready, it'll be unfolded. It'll be, it'll surface, and the right people will show up, the right investors, the right technology, whatever it is, they'll be there, and that's how this thing's been so far, to be honest. It's like the right people have showed up at the right time.
Got it. Yeah. Fantastic.
All right. My last question, and thank you again, PTG World. You guys are the best. Mr. Lang, do you have any of your old markers around? Which are some of your favorites?
Old markers?
No? You don't have any?
No.
Oh, man.
Sorry. No, okay. I might have some at my grandma's house.
Not like pens. Yeah, not pens.
No, I think I have an old cap cocker. I think I have my old cap cocker in a storage somewhere in California. But the thing is like I like getting older because some of those things become more like, relic like, and there are people who collect that stuff. But like, to be honest, to anybody who's watching this, and no offense, like I had like way too much stuff, and like, I mean, we got paid in guns, and like when you're 17 till you're like 33, getting paid in guns, and like going through so many gun companies, and like guns becoming obsolete. Like it was just, you needed to get rid of them. I needed to pay my rent, like it was like, that's what it was like back then. I don't know what it's like now, but it was like, gun, get it out of here. Like, I don't want it. Like, give me the $1,000, So I didn't keep any of that stuff. The only thing I collect now is Hormesis, and I collect, like, if you see behind me, maybe over here, it's hard to see. I don't know. I have a bunch of them there, and then I have all the clothes that we're making, and it's like, to me, I'm not going to be able to produce it like this forever. It's just, things change, and I don't know, maybe I don't live here anymore. But the thing is like, to me, like if you look at all the other stuff in paintball, like guns are hard to collect because, you have to find someone who has the parts, and a lot of the parts aren't there. And, they're, I don't know, like hard to maintain. Maybe you can just keep it on the wall. But like all that old school paintball gear, like all the old Venomware stuff, like old school jerseys, like I wish I would have had that stuff, because there was some of that stuff that was super bomb, and it's like somewhere, in the dump, or I don't know where it is, and it's like, so what I'm doing now is I'm collecting all my Hormesis stuff, because in the future, that stuff's going to be the vintage, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, ooh, I need one of these tops. I might not ever play in it currently, but I'm going to I collect, I got a whole closet full of like the tightest Hormesis jumpsuits, all the jackets, all the headbands.
Nice.
Like, in the beginning, I didn't collect the bands because we just didn't have as many, and we were trying to start a business. So I wasn't like collecting them. Now, every time I come across
supply.
Now I do. In the beginning, I didn't, because I needed to, just get it to Alex, and we needed to try and sell it. But now I collect every line. I don't know. You can see it. It's back there. See right there. Yeah. These are all headbands, right? So that's just from this year,
Dang.
And they stay on my altar. And then I have last year and the year before in another bag. And like, to me, those are going to be that's going to be the gold, the booty of trading in the future.
Oliver,
Excuse me.
talk to us really quick before we let you go. Talk to us about the Hormesis attire shop that seems to be opening out there in Bali.
Yeah, so this has been my like latest kind of art project. You know, when you get older, and I'm not making babies, so I need to put my creativity into something, you know. And so you just need to do things, you know, is what I've recognized, you know. And honestly, kids are a great they're a great propeller into greatness, because you know you need to feed them and you need to, you know, teach them and you need to do things. But since I don't have kids, since I don't have kids, I get super creative now, you know, like I just want to make things and build things, and you know, obviously you can hear how this is going. So when I started the Hormesis headband stuff, I was doing it at the shop that's a natural dye place, and I built rapport up with them as a good business associate because I was buying so much material for the headbands. And then one of the guys one day was like, "Hey, let's you know, what do you want to make some shirts?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool, let's make some shirts, you know, like we'll do the same kind of style and with a different material." And so I got into the materials, and pretty much that was just like a full exploration of what I could do, you know. And so after about a year of exploring weird things and trying things, I pretty much have figured out what I like and what is cool and what I think other people would think is cool or and wear, you know. So for instance, I just made this really nice, this is a super high quality cotton, you know, pocket tee, nothing too special, but it's like kind of a little bit, it's good, it's got a style to it, and it's like, it's natural dye. You can't buy a natural dye t-shirt anywhere in the world. Like, tell me where you can buy it, you know? Like, I'll go buy one. You can't, you know? You just can't. Like, go Google it. You just can't, you know? So between natural dye and batik and the materials that I'm using, you just can't buy it anywhere. You can't go to LA. You cannot go to a men's boutique in LA and get that. I promise you, you know? So I've now got a product that is super unique that nobody in the world has, per se. Now, in Indonesia, they do batik and they do some natural dyes, but they don't do it in a modern context, you know.
Wait, they do on it? What do they do?
They don't do it in a modern context. So like making classical men's shirts and pants and trousers and jackets, you know, first of all, nobody in the world has ever made a natural dye camouflage denim jacket, you know. Now, I'm not saying I'm a clothing designer. I just happen to make that. Sounds like a clothing
designer.
I just happen to make that for fun. But to me, that could be like actually high fashion, you know? Like, yeah, totally. So there's all these things that I've just been experimenting with and learning how to do, that now I have an abundance of inventory, and I was shipping it to Alex in the US, but actually like air freighting stuff is quite expensive. It's really pricey. So I kind of was making a lot of stuff, and then I kind of stopped sending it to him because now we've hired Miko, and Miko's making a lot of other products like the shirt you're wearing, Marcelo. And, you know, so we actually have like a kind of more paintball sportsmanship, sporty, like, you know, attire that's coming from there. And then the stuff I'm making is just much more, I wouldn't say high quality, but I would say much more niche, you know? And so I have all this material, and I came across a nice shop in Ubud, where I live in Bali. And, you know, I just said, okay, well, I guess I'm opening up a men's clothing shop, a boutique, you know? So it's actually been a really fun, creative exploration. I got to design it. I mean, I had a building, so I needed to work with it. I didn't want to put in a bunch of money into it, but you know, enough to make it cool. And the whole intention is that it's a Hormesis attire clothing, men's clothing boutique with all the stuff that I make here, with all the natural dyes, with all the batik, with all the high quality cottons that I'm using. And I'm making everything. I mean, I have boxers, shirts, jackets, hats, pants, trousers, scarves, sarongs, jewelry, you know, so I pretty much have a full men's shop, you know, opening here, and I'm not gearing it towards anybody in particular. If you're a paintball player and you want to come to Bali, there's a Hormesis shop, cool. If you're
Yeah.
a tourist and you come,
Cool.
if you're a tourist and you come to Bali and you want to buy something epic that you can't buy anywhere else, I've got a shop. If you're a local expat that lives here and you want to buy nice clothes that, you know, suit the kind of atmosphere of here as well as atmosphere of other places, I've got a shop, you know. And you know, you need to build a web. You know, this is kind of like what we did with Hormesis also in general, is we built the web and then everybody kind of got stuck in the web, and now we're all in the, you know, we're all in this web together, right? So you need to, you know, we have that as the Hormesis online aspect of it, but I feel like this is going to be, for me, a physical aspect of this, you know, where people come into my door and I meet the coolest people and I can share with them kind of my wisdom on clothing and knowledge of, you know, how to do this in a sustainable, fashionable way. And then, you know, we'll see what happens, you know. But it's just an art project, you know.
Yeah.
If you're in Bali, you know where to go.
I just think it's also a symbol for the brand and what's to come, right? Like I love everything about it. You know, it's taking the next step. It's a little bit of a leap, and it's super badass, incredibly cool.
Totally. One thing that I tracked also, like in skateboarding, that I'd like to get to, whether it's with the dual or however it is, but like, you know, when I was a kid and I watched skateboard videos, most of the time these guys would hang out at a skateboard store. You know, like there was one in San Francisco called FTC, and everybody would flock there, and then everybody would network and they'd meet and then they'd go skating, and like that's where all the best skaters from the West Coast came from, right there. And if you look at surfing, this happened in, you know, skateboarding in Dogtown, and then also surfing in, like, you know, that area. So you need to have like a base, you know, a brand where everybody can come to and everybody can commingle and meet and network and then do whatever they're doing together, right? And then when you look at skateboarding, once it got to a little bit bigger, they'd have like the World Industries factory, and then in the World Industries factory, they'd have a skate park. And then everybody that was a pro skater for World Industries would be skating there, you know, every day. Right? So like now you're getting footage, now you're getting the recognition, now you're asking them, hey, what do you guys think about this? You know, and all of a sudden skateboarding's massive. So like eventually I would love to have a Hormesis, you know, factory, or maybe that's not the right word for it, like warehouse, where we have a dual court in there. And then all of a sudden you're in there every day, you know, playing, Marcelo, and you're in there training kids, and other people are coming around just to watch you play Ryan Greenspan or watch you play this other guy, you know. And it's like, that's the headquarters, and everybody comes there and flocks and networks and meets and practices and helps each other. And then you go out into the world and, you know, go win other tournaments or go and compete in other events or whatever it is, you know? So
it has to be a factory, because you have to be like in a Willy Wonka outfit. It's got to be the whole factory. We got to have that whole thing going on.
Totally. I mean, even Marcelo, remember Die, you know, when we were playing for them, you know, it was kind of like that. It wasn't so open to the public, but like, you know, a lot of the Ironmen worked there, and a lot of, you know, people were networking, and, you know, there was a huge kind of Die community in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
Now imagine if imagine if Die would have had a field in the back and opened it up to outside people to come play. You know, that would have been absolutely brilliant. Or in that whole area where there was like 6 big diesel trucks that were never used. You know, there's like that. It was like, okay, make that a nice paintball field. But the thing is back then we were thinking only one way. You know, like now I think with the dual format, you could do it uniquely. I mean, this is how Philadelphia Americans got so good when they were, they had that 100%. Field, the indoor field, they had their factory there, they had the team there, they had all the people coming, you know, Ryan Moorhead came out through there. You know, that was like an epicenter of paintball.
Totally.
You know, and gone now, you know, or gone a while ago, you know, and I don't know what they do now with the GOG or whatever. But anyways, I think that we are the future of paintball. I think that as we advance beyond the game, whether it's however long you guys continue to play it, beyond that, there's more, you know? So don't get thinking like, okay, when I retire, life is over. Life just begins.
Yeah,
trust me,
totally.
You know?
100%.
And now we're on to the next adventure. You've got a huge community of energy boosting you, supporting you, because you are accredited individuals in this industry. That's what I realized about myself that I never recognized before, was that I've got rapport in this thing, you know? And what I say, people are actually interested in it. What you guys say, people are actually interested in this. If you guys go and you start something new, well, it could be good for your journey, but you're not going to have that rapport. You've been building rapport in this industry for many years, you know? And so I truly believe, and I'm not trying to expedite this by any fashion, but the minute that majority of you guys stop playing paintball, whatever that is, this thing's going to pop. It's going to boom because all the love is going to be in. It's true. All the love is going to be into it. All the people are going to be working together. Instead, it's like a bunch of people we don't know. I don't know who they are, and I never knew who they were. You know, I mean, besides HK, you know, those guys are pretty grassroots and on the ground, and I don't know where they're at now, but at least that's how they were. But beyond that, it's like who runs these companies? You know, like who's in charge of these things? Does anybody even like say I'm like one of the best players out there, and like you don't even come up to me and talk to me and say, hey, I own this company that sponsors you, you know, like nice to see you, you know, like thanks for making me millions of dollars, you know, like
that's what I do love about the HK boys is that, you know, they're still rocking and having fun in the same spirit as you, you know, like it's just still all love for paintball, and that's what we
need.
Dude,
HK is so epic, bro. HK they're the ones who started this thing. And you know what I'm talking about? Like they're the new wave of this paintball expansion, of this new renaissance. They're the kids, you know? Yeah. Now we're the kids, Alex and Hormesis and whoever wants to be a part of it, you know? We're not going to turn this thing into just business. I don't know if HK turned it into business. You know, I feel the energy that they're like a little bit, you know, more about business now. They won't even let you wear a Hormesis headband. You know, to me, that's ridiculous, to be honest. You know, like let the boy wear a Hormesis headband if he wants to wear it, dude. You know, you got him head to toe with everything else. You guys started with headbands. Rock it, bro.
That was their thing. Is they were mad at other companies for not letting.
I know it's so hypocritical. You know, it's so hypocritical. Let's all be in this together, dude. I don't want to fight you as a brand. I have no interest to fight you as a brand, dude. I'm gonna make cool ass shit. If you make cool ass shit, you can sell it. I'm gonna sell it. If another guy makes cool ass shit, epic. You know, I'm not trying to take you down. I want your competitiveness because just like you two know, Dynasty is not going to be as good as Dynasty is going to be if Heat isn't as good as Heat's going to be. You know what I'm saying? You need each other, dude. It's so, this is something I learned when I stepped away from the game so much, how valuable Konstantin Fedorov was to me in my life. I had to beat him. He was so good. He was so smooth. Everything about him was so good. I needed to be better than him. But I pushed him away because he was my competitor, you know, and until I walked away, I had like a moment where I just cried one day about how much I appreciated these Russian guys who were like insanely great competitors and who drove me to be insanely great myself. So I want brands to be insanely great, you know? I don't want to run the market. That's boring as F. You know, that's what's going on in the world, you know, and you can see how it's just, you know, it's confusion out there. Mm-hmm. We need everybody. I need you to have a brand, Tyler. I need you to have a brand, Marcelo. Like I tell Kyle every day, I'm like, Kyle, get Tiger Wear up and going. Like get an investor, like do what you got to do. Tiger Wear's tight. It's going to pop, you know, like put energy into that right now. And we need all these other brands to pop up also because, dude, we are a network. And if everybody feeds each other, then we're all fed. You understand? Like, this is real community. This isn't just, you know, like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's like, no, we're all feeding each other. You know, we're all supporting each other. You know, okay, you own that brand. I like you. I want to support you. You know, that's how we have to look at this thing. And so there's space. There is space for new brands. In fact, there needs to be new brands because the old brands are getting old, and the old brands have been around for a long time and they've served their purpose. But there needs to be new brands, and there needs to be new blood. There needs to be people who care about the sport. You know, one day when you go into the business aspect of it, and you will, because I never thought I would, and I did. So you will, you know. I want Ryan Moorhead to have his own brand. I want Konstantin Fedorov to have his own brand. I want all these guys to have their own brands. because they're epic and they deserve it. And they've done the work and they've built the industry to what it is today. And it's time for us all to go to the next round, you know, whenever that is. That could be 5 years. It could be 10 years. It could be 2 years. I don't know. But I know that I'm chipping away at it. You know, currently, obviously, as we've spoke for now 2 hours and a half about this, this is now my new mission. I want to bring paintball into another spectrum. I want to enhance everything that else is going on. And I want to do it with, you know, tactfulness and grace, because I respect everybody in the industry and all the fields and everything that's been occurring, but I'm ready to go into this next sphere. And if you want to come with me, we can go. And if you don't want to, that's cool too, you know? But I would suggest if we all kind of motioned in one direction, we could probably grow this thing to that point that you were talking about, Tyler, where the future generations are super legitimate, you know? And people are respectable professional paintball players. And again, I dreamt of that when I was a young kid. I didn't get that. I'm ready to give that to somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's my next evolution of it, you know? I want people to be paid and respected for this freaking amazing game that we do. I don't want you just to do it for passion for 20 years. Passion doesn't pay the bills, you know? Passion doesn't set you up for retirement. It's beautiful and poetic, but it's just not, it's not pragmatic, you know? So we got to shift this thing, you know? And the money is there, dude. Money is not, inflation is an idea, you know? All these things, scarcity is an idea. Honestly, paintball is booming in America right now. And everybody's telling me there's a, you know, whatever's going on with the economy, but somehow everything's still working, you know? Even if we just huddle up and we get all the people who play paintball and all the brands together and all the everything, we're like, okay, let's work together. You know, let's not put our money in other places. Let's all do this, you know? We can all up level each other. I don't know, there's so many ways of doing something, and it's just going to be coming in the future. So I'm kind of rambling at this point. I'll end it off there.
We have a powerhouse podcast brand. You should tune in. It's called Play the Game Podcast, and it's popping. Let's go, baby.
Oh, banger.
Dude, how much would you guys pay me to get Play the Game Podcast right here?
Oh my!
Would you wear a Hormesis headband at that point, Tyler? If
you're gonna get it tattooed on your chest.
Yeah, and then you've got to wear a Hormesis headband.
Dang, brother. That's big level stuff right there. Holy smokes.
Okay, I'll just get Marcelo then. I'll just get Marcelo then.
There we go.
It'll just be it'll just say he game.
He game. He game. He game.
Oh, bro.
That's gold.
No, thanks to your sponsors. Who do you got? Transfuse. What do we got? Bio CBD.
BioCell CBD.
Fucking HK, I love you guys, bro. Support us, dude. You know, work with us, dude. You're guys shit, man. Come on, you know, let's not get too up our own asses here. Hormesis. They're cool.
Hormesis.
Lone Wolf.
Cool.
Lone Wolf, dude. I love Lone Wolf,
baby.
Dude. Who else do you got sponsored by?
Those are the show sponsors right there. Yeah,
Sponsored
those are the
by
show
the world.
sponsors. Yeah.
Dude, we need more sponsors on the show, man. If you own a mortgage broker company, a real estate company, a tractor sales company, like sponsor the show, dude. You're going to get famous and rich from PTG, you know? Like we're famous up there, you know?
Yeah.
Famous and rich and laid.
Famous and rich.
Famous, rich, and laid. What else do you need?
That was the promise when I came to Dynasty. That was what Ryan said I would. That was my deal. That was my contract. Famous, rich, and laid. Actually, it wasn't rich. It was famous, miles, and laid.
Yeah, you get the miles.
Get
your miles.
You got the
miles.
Yeah.
Ben,
I don't even play the miles game anymore. Honestly, I relinquished that game. It was the best thing in my entire life to stop playing the miles game, man.
What?
I like to sit middle. Yeah, I like to sit middle on the flight, like pay for my flight like a normal human being, like wait in line and like be okay with waiting in line. Like this, you're mentally, psychologically screwed forever.
I am
100%
100%
playing the miles game. Oh my god, they didn't upgrade me. Oh my god, look how long the line is. Oh my god, I got an extra 5 pounds in my bag. They're gonna make me pay for it. Oh, you know. know, it's like,
It's bad.
dude, you gotta
It's
just
bad.
delete that.
Yeah.
You gotta delete it, man. And
It's
plus you got the mile king on your team, who's just never ending perpetual mile collector. Look,
Never.
to be honest, I'll be honest with you. I had 2 million miles before I was 22 years old. That's a fact. Okay.
That's crazy.
I didn't even use any miles. They all went to waste, dude. I used it like
yeah, but
one
you have
time.
status for life now, so you don't get middle. So you have status for life with 2 million
gold
miles.
status
Yeah.
for life.
Hey,
you know,
you ain't sitting middle at least.
I don't really care about it. You know, it's like I'm
Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever you give me, universe. You know,
Yeah,
maybe the
yeah.
coolest, hottest woman ever is gonna be next to me
That's
in my
true.
backseat middle. You know.
That's true.
Anyways,
True.
the mile game is a never-ending game, bro. You can just
It's
trust me.
brutal.
It's just-
I will
brutal, bro.
retire the year that I miss status. That's
I
when it's
know.
gonna
That's
happen.
how much it's got you, man. It's crazy.
It's got me.
dude. It's crazy, dude. You're gonna retire
Hey,
from
you'll-
paintball because you didn't get elite status, man.
You'll respect
Jeez.
this. I don't even really go in the lounges anymore. It's very rare. I've been really trying not
I respect
to
that.
eat any airport food or being in that area. So I'm like, I got no reason to go in. We'll
Totally.
see. I think
The
I-
food
I'm
in the
gonna-
lounge is not good either. It's like
That's
you
what
think it's
that's
good
what I'm
'cause
saying. Yeah.
You think
No,
it's
that's what I'm
good because
saying.
it's free, and then you're
Yeah.
eating like
It's not good.
pretzels, and you're like,
Meat
what am I
glue
doing?
and all-
Like, it's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I'd rather go
I've been-
pay like the burrito place and get a burrito. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's also
This-
really nice to just be a human being, you know, and like, you know, not think that you're like this elite person on this like upper echelon of the flying status, because also that's a never ending game too. There's guys who have more than you.
Way
I remember
more.
one time I looked at this guy's tag. He was like 8 million miler, and I was like, he's 8 million
I
miler.
gotta get
You
it.
know, I was like, oh my god, like I was like nervous to sit next to him. I was like,
8 million.
It's crazy.
anyways, dudes, we've traversed the whole galaxy here. I'll let you guys go to
Been
bed.
the best.
I'll start my day now.
Yeah, what time
Nice,
is it right
dude.
now for you?
About
11 a.m.
11:30.
11 a.m. Well, sir, this has been one of the best episodes ever. Episode 189 will go in the books of history, PTG archived forever. And we absolutely love you, dude. Anything you need help with on the journey, boosting it on PTG with the new 1v1 and just everything on your saga, man, let us know.
Yeah, I would just love for one of you guys to come on one section of the tour, even if you just fly into the place to play the demo. And if I send you an invitation for the elite finale, I hope you would gladly receive it and make your way there.
Yeah, dude. As long as it's not
Love it, dude.
on one of my practice weekends or tournaments, dude, I'm there.
Well,
You know
it's
what I'm
not
saying?
going to be on a tournament for sure. It's definitely not going to be on a practice weekend. But I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
they might just throw a practice in there so that you can't go, you know. Oh, dear. Looks like the one-on-ones this weekend. Practice. Guys, we have an emergency practice this weekend, by the way. No, you can't go to Oliver's event.
Oh, jeez.
We don't want him to have any success.
We're gonna have to figure something out because I have every single weekend booked from now until World Cup. I know you didn't want to hear it. I've been not wanting to even say it, but I'll share my
That's fine.
calendar
I
with
got
it's brutal.
it's your loss, bro. It's your loss. You know? That's
It
how
is
I
a
see
loss. It is a loss. I could cancel on one of these fields, maybe. You know,
They would
one of these
understand.
games. I
They
could
would
cancel.
I mean, you know, look, let's get to that point. But the point is, you know, at the end of the day, it would be cool to have you guys at one place at one point sometime.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I
Probably.
want to find a way to come either tag along at least during the week when maybe I could like see how the schedule works and go. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure something out.
Dude,
but I don't want to
you
miss
better
out on this.
believe
I don't want
I'm
to miss
in
out
the
on this.
tour bus with you right
what I'm
now,
saying.
dog.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
in
what I'm
there.
saying.
like,
I want to be in the
I'm in there.
buzz.
Yeah, you already know.
we're gonna be playing poker. You know, we're gonna be
Yeah.
listening to like hip hop. You know,
What are we talking
TLC. You know,
Fun.
it's gonna be like a rap tour minus the women and all the other things that go along with that. You
All
know?
the cool stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be like me reading a book with Kevin, you know, talking about the book. What do you think about this book, Kev? Yeah, cool.
Pretty rad. Well,
Some
bro,
tea.
we'll be sure to keep the
It's
people
been real.
posted, and all of you be safe out there. Thank you once
Yes.
again for stopping in and hanging out with us. And like I said, 189 is in the books forever. This is history.
100%.
Excellent, guys. Thanks for letting me share the story. Sorry for ranting all over the place, but I'm excited.
The best. Thank you.
The best.
Yeah, we'll have you back on soon. Can't wait to see it.
Okay, love you guys.
So.
Do I leave now? Leave? Peace, everybody. Paintball world. We love you all. Peace out.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and rocking with us. Really hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, if you did, please head over to ptgpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link at the top. It's a little orange box in the top left corner. And sign up. Become a supporter of the show. If you become a supporter at any level, $5, $35 if you're a GOAT. It does not matter which one you sign up as. You get access to the Discord. The Discord is where all the magic happens. We have a great community in there. You get to ask questions live. You would have been able to ask Oliver all sorts of questions and have it read live on the show. Again, great way to support the show and be part of the community. Thank you guys so much. Please also like, share, follow, subscribe, do all the things for us to show support. That means a lot to our sponsors. And yeah, as always, everybody, we will see you very soon.